Welcome everyone to the lesson 2 of JLPT N4 Japanese Kanji.
Hi, みんなこんにちは。
Konnichiwa. I just need to warn you guys, there has been a 9-hour, wait a minute, 10-hour lightning storm going on where we live right now. And there's power going out all over the place. So at any time today, wherever you are, the power may go out. If that happens, we'll get back on as soon as the power comes back on. The power doesn't go out too often here, but yeah, it could happen because it's a giant long storm that just keeps going over top of us. Lightning was crazy last night.
はい。
There were some crazy sounding ones I've never heard before. One came down pretty close. It was like, and then a giant thunder came out after it. It was pretty wild. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. If the stream goes out, that may be what is happening. ところで opening a poll to see if my cheating was valid last stream was hysterical. Yeah.
チーティングの人が。
That was fun. Speaking of which, today we have a review quiz for you guys.
はい。
We'll be getting to that in a few moments after we say hello to everyone. Isa says, Andy to Yuki, konnichiwa. Hello, welcome.
こんにちは。
Friday, I'm going to a Japanese and English language exchange, and I'm really scared, but I've been watching all your videos to review and study. Wish me luck. Good luck.
はい。
You're going to have fun. It'll be great.
ね、楽しいと思いますよ。頑張ってください。
Yeah. Welcome to the stream, Alex saying, Pika Pika. I started at the beginning of N5 and gave up Anki completely. Nice. Montana Margot has switched to Hidameki 100%. Hidameki is the software we're using to do these lessons and quizzes and all that stuff. And it's also our new flashcard, website for ToKiniAndy.com. And it's also going to be the home of our stories, our immersion content in the future, which will allow you to click on every single word and see what it means and see grammar explanations and stuff while you're going through stories. And lots more stuff will be coming to it in the future as well. So that's exciting. Thank you
はい。
for giving it a shot for those of you who are. Welcome to the stream, Neil B. You did not miss anything. We're about to get started. Andres, welcome to the stream. Ohayo gozaimasu.
おはようございます。
Maureen, hello, hello, hello. Who else is here today? Lazy Werebear is putting the kids to bed, so he'll be back a little bit later. And Morbid Blessing said he won't be able to make it today. I won't be live today, but I'm going to like the stream and keep it playing to help with YouTube things. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Hope so too.
あり
Have
が
a
と
good
うご
night.
ざいます。
Morbid Blessing. I think that's it today. Hearts
タム
flying.
ハンマーさん。あれ、
どこどこどこどこ
なんかピンクの人。
Pink. No, Tam Huster. Welcome to the stream. Going to get a kite. Yeah, you're going to learn how to make electricity. Hola desde Mexico. I don't remember the
メヒコじゃ
Mexico
ない
だよね. Welcome to the stream, Charles Dang. Good to have you here. Welcome, Kill Train. Viva Mexico. I'm a little scared it'll be only old people. I'm 20, so I'm not sure what me and a 40-year-old Japanese man would talk about. You'd be surprised. Japanese people are good at keeping the conversation going, so they might have questions for you. You'll get very used to why are you learning Japanese? First time I'm catching a stream live. Excited because I just signed up for the N4 today. Ooh, that is exciting.
Ooh.
Hello, Chocolate, my old friend. Good to see you here. Chocolate is my old friend. First stream is basically caught up in a video.
my
Nice.
friend だよ。
Yes, of course. My old friend who is still my friend. Hello, Chocolate, my old friend.
そういう歌詞なの？
違いますね。
あ、違いますね。
It's hello, dark chocolate, my old friend. I think it is. 大変な。
大変？
大変だね。はい。
そう。
All right. So the first thing we're going to be doing today before we jump into the lesson is we're going to do a little bit of a review quiz, which will have 5 kanji from the last stream. It'll be the meaning on the front.
はい。
And then you'll have to type the kanji into the stream. If you remember the word that we used to learn the kanji in the last stream, you'll be able to type out this kanji and pop it on stream, and we'll have a little bit of quiz, and whoever gets there first gets bananas. That's how it works here. Yeah, you can move that up above. Then, after those 5, we'll have 5 words, and you'll have to tell us how to read those words using hiragana or katakana. So we'll do a nice little quiz to get things going, and then we'll get into the lesson for today. Isa, don't worry about it. I was scared at Conversation Club, but it all worked out. People are very nice. Yeah, most people who come to Conversation Clubs who are learning different languages are quite understanding and considerate. most people who you wouldn't want to really talk to don't tend to come to those things. So that's good. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the review quiz.
Hi.
Our first kanji that I want you to type in chat is lightweight. Yuki's going to give you some hints.
Hints.
Move that right over there. I got to zoom it in.
はい、ありがとうござい
It
ます。
doesn't look like Lazy Werebear is going to need any hints. He's first place, even though he's putting the kids to bed. I appreciate it. I trust it. Yeah. Lazy Werebear is in first place and gets the bananas, and that is the correct word, Grammy. But you want to pop in the actual kanji for this one. So that's this part of the quiz. This is just writing the kanji out. So first place is Lazy Werebear. Let's get you some Nattoku bananas if I can find them. Hey, 1, 2. You're going to get 1 first. At Alex. Nope, it's not. Sorry, I know your actual name. So there's 1 for you. Lazy Werebear is in first with Andres in second. Montana Margo, that is correct. But Dan, you're in third. Five Toed Sloth Bear is in fourth. And Hello, my old chocolate my old friend is in fifth place. You're not making these streams unlisted after you make edited versions of them, are you? I am not. No, they'll stay up forever. Eric Barron, welcome to the stream. You're in sixth place with Fairy Art Online. That is seventh place. Hey, team is now... Is it now there? I don't know. Running back and forth to the kitchen. Hara ga sukimashita. Ore mo hara hetta yo. Montana Margo, there's 8th place. Nice job. CB Kira, welcome to the stream. You're in 9th place. By the way, I'm Indian, though it's 5:41 a.m. And there, oh man, you're up early. Thanks for coming to hang out.
ありが
Anyway,
とうございます。
Stephen Philbin, welcome to the stream. Let's see what you guys got. You were correct. This is the word. It's
Yay.
lightweight. The details for this one are, there's the kanji. The parts were car, right arm or right hand, and soil. All right, let's go ahead and check out what the next one is. Yuki's going to read out first and second place for this
は
one.
い。
Well, all the places. Fond of.
ファンドムね。みんな、私が答え書かない方がいいね、まだ。
そうだね。
あ、早い。お、アンドレス1番。Hello Chocolate Lately My Old Friend さん2番。Come to Japan 3番。アレックス4番。いい調子ですね。Five Toed Sloth Bear 5番。あ、フェリーアートオンラインさんようこそ6番。モンタナマーゴ7番。エリック・バロンさんようこそ8番。いい感じですね、みんな。SK Dog for Life さんようこそ9番。
Excellent job. Okay, you guys got this one right. It was... Oh,
あ、CBQ さん10番。マウリーンさん11
all
番
right. We got
で
lots
す。
of people participating. That's excellent. Fond of.
Hi.
This is the kanji. It's got woman on the left and child on the right. It looked like this in the history. So that was a good one. All right, this next one is for me. Let's see what it is. It's horse. Draw me a horse. I love your Genki grammar lessons. Big fan. Thank you.
ありがとうございます。
Anshika Kashyap. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad that you're finding those helpful. Andres, you got first place again with Come to Japan Dan in second, and Idinal, welcome to the stream. You're in third place with Five Toed Sloth Bear in fourth place. Hello, Chocolate My Old Friend in fifth. CB Cure in sixth. Fairy Art Online in seventh. Sum Ronaldo, welcome to the stream. You're in eighth place, and Montana Margo is in ninth. Excellent job. All right. Come to Japan Dan gives us the English emoji there. I think Andres got their second banana, so I'm actually going to do this because this is easier. You're going to get 2 bananas. Nice job. All right, the kanji was... That's the one.
そうですね。
Horse. And the only part or radical in horse is, surprisingly, horse.
はい。
All right, Yuki, this one's yours.
もうさ、すごくヒントじゃないこれ。
で、だって漢字書かなきゃいけないじゃないですか。
だけどさっきまでは、あ、そっか、これ、英語も同じ名前だ。
そうです。仕方ないです。
ソードとかじゃなかったんだ。
She was confused about how English is exactly the same as the Japanese and thought it was a really big hint, but it's not. That's just how it is. Not much I can do about that.
はい、
お願いします
カムトゥジャパン1番、アンドレス2番、ファイブトーズスロースベア3番、ハローチョコレートレッドマイオールドフレンド4番、モンタナマーゴ5番、スンロナウドさん、ようこそ6番。いやー、ちょっと I was confused でしたね。
Strong, but with the top not sticking up a bit. Because strong would be this one, eh?
あ、そうそうそうそう。この
That one would be strong, eh? And this one is
まあ
not strong. It's close, but
ス
yeah.
トリングスかなって思うけど、うん。
Strength or strong. どっちでもいいか
あ、
な。
そうなんだ。
はい。
は
The
い。
only parts in this one are itself. Because it is a radical itself. So that is strong. Well, Maureen, I think you gotta speed up your stream a little bit to get up to live with us. I'm looking at the stream while I work on my Japanese homework. Double the studying. Yes. Double the studying, double the fun. Hi, this one is for me. This one's for me, right?
Hi,
Okay, this is the
そうです。
last one that you have to remember how to write. If you are not chatting, you should practice writing it because that's the hard part. First place goes to Andores. Nice job. I'll still get many things mixed up.
早いよ。
Right, still great. Andres, you're in first place. Yeah, this stream might be a Japanese multitasking for me too. Andres, you got 3 Natoku Banana so far. Nice job. Hi, Come to Japan Dan is in second. No, 5-Toed Sloth Bear is in second place with Come to Japan Dan in third and Montana Margo in fourth. My wife and I cannot wait to start your Genki lessons, Tokini Sensei. いいですね。
ありがとうございます。
よかった。I hope that you enjoy them and find them helpful. They're quite old, but they're still
ね。
working, I guess. I'm glad to hear that. Aiden L. Well, I already said welcome to the stream, but I'm sleepy from all the lightning and thunder last night and some other things. So you're in fifth place. ところで、麦茶が美味しいですよ。
はい。美味しい
で。
ですすよね。
美味しいよね。はい。
はい。
Great job. There it is. It's wheat. The word for it is, of course, barley. If it was an actual word, but this is just the kanji. It's made from a blue crown and a late radical. So exciting. Y'all are the goats. First time I've seen y'all live. 2-year subscriber, and it has helped so much. Glad to hear that, Mr. Easy Mac. I'm glad that you've been finding the videos helpful. Great job. Hello, Chocolate, my old friend. You are, I believe, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place. Nice. All right.
はい。いいですね。あ、
Komugi.
そうね。
Komugi ne? That's actual wheat. All right, so the next quiz, which Yuki will start with, is the word quiz. So
Hi.
let me make sure I've got furigana showed only on the back. Okay, we're good. So this is the kanji. Are it?
え、いい
This
じゃない
shouldn't be the kanji. Anyway, there's a sentence. So Yuki's going to read it without reading the word.
はい。に乗ったことがある
Very good. And you're going to tell us. There it is. Oh, that was fast. お願いします。
お、みよきおさん、早い。ようこそ。
Welcome to the stream.
はい。みよきおさん1番。アンドレス2番。
We want you to tell us how to read this one, not write the kanji. So, Andres, that doesn't count. Sorry.
Sorry,
There you go, there
ひら
you go.
が
I got
な
a
か。
star.
はい。ファイブトートスロースベア2番。カムトゥジャパン3番。アンドレス OK です。4番。モンタナマーゴ5番。ハローチョコレートレッドマイオールドフレンド6番。
Yes, Miss Thurman. Miss Thurman, that is Uma. That is correct. Uma.
あ、CBQ7 番です。
Hi, nice job. So, oh, wait, who gets bananas for that one? Who is first place?
みよきおさん。
Miyokiyo-san, welcome to the stream.
みよきおさんです。
Miyo. Nattoku. All right, our next word is going to be this one. And it's mine. But Yuki's going to read the sentence for us.
このが美味しいです。
All right, let's see what this one is.
このが美味しいです。
Andres is in first place for the 4th time with 5-Toed Sloth Bear in second. Come to Japan Dan in third. Lazy Werebear in fourth. And Mio Kyo in 5th place. Nice job. Andres gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're building them up there, man. CB Cure, nice job. You are in 6th place with Montana Margo in 7th. Oops, we're in the reading section of the quiz, aren't we? LOL, yes, indeed. But you still got it.
ね。
Hello, Chocolate, my old friend. Nice job. You are in 8th place with Josh Toohill. Welcome to the stream. Banana ga nan desu ka? Banana wa nan desu ka? That is actually correct, Patrick. That is correct. That is how you would say it. I'll give it to you. You're in 9th place, I believe. Bananas are just what we give out for prizes. Andres has been in first 5 times, so he gets 5. That's a Nattoku banana. That's a stamp just for the members. These are the member stamps, by the way. Ando-san hasn't been around lately, but he is one of the main stamp features. I haven't got my keyboard software installed properly at the moment. It only lets me type English and some katakana. That's fine. Steven, you can still participate. If you type the romaji, for example, for this one, it would have been ni-ku. If you were to type ni and ku in English, that would be perfectly acceptable, and you can still participate if you'd like. All right. Our next word is this one. And here's the sentence. お願いします。
はい。これどっちが、オッケー。は、草を食べる。
はい。
は、草を食べる。むむ。
はい。これがユキのだよね。
あ、そうだ、私だわ。
はい。
ちょっと待って、みんな早くない？
こっちです。
はい。レイジーベアベア1番。カムトジャパン2番、ミヨキオ3番、ファイブトードスロースベア4番、アンドレス5番、ハローチョコレートレイトマイオールドフレンド6番、モンタナマーゴ7番、ゲーミング
コメディ
さんようこそ8番、マウリーナ、9番、CBQ 10番です。
Yes, indeed. So the
アレックスがムーって言ってる。
The full sentence would be お願いします。
はい。牛は草を食べる。
はい。The next one will be mine, and that is this one. And here's the sort of sentence.
はい。服の。
And that's it. もう。Oh, yeah. In Japanese, it is もう, isn't it?
そう。
Come to Japan Dan is in first place. Oh, did I forget to give Lazy Werebear a banana? I might have. Was Lazy Werebear first another time as well?
Yes,
I think he was, so he gets 2. Come to Japan Dan gets these ones. At Come to Japan Dan also gets 2. Hi. Come to Japan Dan, you are in first place with... The question is, do I give it to you? I guess so. The full word is, of course, what Dan said there and what Hello Chocolate, my old friend, said there. But you did give me the reading in that word, Lazy Werebear, so I'll give you second place with Five Toed Sloth Bear in third, Mio Kyo in fourth, Hello Chocolate, my old friend in fifth, and Andres in sixth. CB Cure, you're in 7th place with Montana Margo in 8th and Maureen in 9th. Gaming Comedy, welcome to the stream again. You are in 10th place. The full sentence would be?
はい、服の内側。
All right, we got one more for Yuki. This is going to be the word, and this is the sentence.
明日はでしょうか。明日はでしょうか。
All right.
これは私たちとってもタイムリーなセンテンスですね。
答えは No です。
明日は？
明日も No です。明後日も No です。多分。はい、お願いします。これユキのだよ。
はい、じゃあ読んでいきたいと思います。レイジーウェイベア1番、
はい、
いいね。ミヨキヨ2番、ファイブトードスロースベア3番、アンドレス4番、ハローチョコレートレイトマイオールドフレンド5番、ゲーミングコメディ6番、CBQ 7番、Come to Japan Dan 8番、モンタナマーゴ9番です。
Nice. Okay.
いいですね。
Alright.
明日は晴れるでしょうか？明日は晴れるでしょうか？
晴れないよ。絶対晴れません。
明日も晴れじゃないそうです。
晴れじゃないです。Alright.
悲しいですね。
It is a little bit sad, but it is what it is. Alright. Well, that was the quiz. Thank you for participating, everyone. We're going to be approaching things a little bit differently in this lesson. Not too much differently. It's going to be pretty much the same as the last one, except that we are going to have a mid-quiz. It's going to be after we cover 5 kanji and words and sentences for them. We're going to do a midpoint quiz because so many people, because these streams get quite long, don't get a chance to participate in the quizzes because they don't happen for a very long time. So this will give some more people opportunity to participate in the quiz and give us some more interactivity in the middle of us doing our lessons where we ignore you. For those of you who are here for the first time, I just wanted to go over quickly how things are going to work because I won't be explaining it during the lesson. We already explained how things work in lesson 1, so in the future, people going through the videos of this will have already seen lesson 1 and they won't need an explanation. So I'm just going to explain it to you guys on live stream for those of you who are here for the first time. What'll happen is we're going to teach a meaning in English, one single meaning in English for a kanji. And then we'll teach you the kanji, we'll teach you a story to memorize it, we'll teach you how to write it, and we're going to teach you some history about it. Then we'll give you a word, a single word, just one. Kanji can be read in many different ways, but we're going to give you one word so that you can maybe get a chance of being able to read it when you see it in context, and you'll also be able to type it during the quizzes. That's one of the main points. Then we'll give you a sentence using that word because it's always important to learn words in actual context. We'll be teaching more words for other readings of kanji in the next part in the series, which will be after the 22nd lesson. This is a 22 lesson series. So that's the main thing. Then we'll have a quiz after 5. Then we'll do 5 more. And then we'll have another quiz at the end. That's going to be the flow of everything, right?
Hi.
The other important thing is that when we are teaching a single kanji, we're going to ignore you completely. Chat does not exist during that lesson. We're recording this just like we did the Genki lessons, so we basically ignore chat until we get to the end of a kanji word sentence group. And then we talk to you guys about it, and you can ask any questions that you might have. You're welcome to keep chatting down here in chat. That's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. Talking with each other or asking questions. We will just not be able to get to your questions until after we're actually done. Banana 全部欲しい。ありがとう、セシビキュー。はい。
バナナ全部欲しい人がいる。
First time here, my wife and I are having a blast trying to read the hiragana in the live stream. Basically, an in-house competition since we're barely learning hiragana. That's fun. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
ありがとうございます。
You'll get some new kanji, even though you can't quite get hiragana down just yet. You can still learn quite a bit from this, I think. So hopefully you'll both enjoy it, Dr. Protein Shake. All right. You ready?
はい、いいですよ。
All right, let's go ahead and jump into it.
ドクタープロテインシェイク。
Dr. Protein Shake. Love it.
大変バナナ入れたいよね。
Yes, we definitely want to put bananas in the protein shake. All right, guys, you ready? By the way, let's move this over a little bit so it's not.
はい。
So sometimes I'll be on screen, sometimes it'll just be Yuki. For the beginning, it's just me. So I'm going to do a little pretend introduction for Dan because he's going to do the cuts on these later. Are you ready? All right. Gotta look over there. Welcome, everyone, to the Japanese Kanji JLPT N4 Lesson 2. Today, we're going to be covering the meaning and a word and a sentence for 10 different kanji that are going to be either on the JLPT N4 test or the Kanken Level 9 test. The Kanken Level 9 is the test that Japanese kids take who are usually around second-year students in elementary school. So we're going to be covering all of those kanji in this series. There's going to be 22 lessons. This is lesson 2. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, our first kanji is this one. This is a little bit complicated compared to all of the kanji that we learned back in the N5. We've got 2 parts here you can see. We've got a little piece of thread over here on the left, and we've got a little, what is this, a field over on the right. So what do you think it might mean? A piece of thread in a field. Imagine trying to find a single piece of thread in a field. That would be pretty tough. The meaning of this in English is thin and dainty. Fields aren't thin and dainty, but trying to find a thin and dainty piece of thread in a field would be quite difficult. So that's how we're going to try and remember this. The details of this one are, here are the strokes. There's 11 strokes. Yuki's going to teach us how to write these in a moment. The main radical, the radical is usually something that either gives meaning or that is just considered a main part of a kanji. That's how you can find them in dictionaries. You search by the radical. The main radical is thread, which is obvious because it means thin and dainty. So of course it's thread. The other parts are thread and field. Well, the parts, the total parts. There's 2 parts. Those are the parts of this kanji. So Yuki is going to show us how to write this one. お願いします。
はい。あ、私、いいこれ。はい、書いていきたいと思います。今日からヒストリーは私の後になったんですね。
前回もそうだったよ。
はい。えへ。よし。はい。ちょっと真ん中じゃなかったね。ごめん。はい。どうでしょうか。ブレイキングダウンしていくね。まず N5 でアンディが説明した通り、この糸、この糸っていう漢字と、このたっていうライスフィールドの漢字をやりました。で、これをね、そのままの大きさで書くと、糸たになっちゃうのね。こういうふうにそれぞれを書いてしまうと細いっていう漢字一つに見えないから、できるだけねこの2つは、またボックスがあるっていうふうに考えて、この中でちょっと狭いのこっちのボックス、はい、左側に糸、このボックスのだいたい左側に糸が来て、右側にたが来る。で、くっついてるとより一つの漢字に見えやすいです。そのぐらいかな。
はい。
なんか質問あります？
俺は質問がないです。はい。Alright, so during the stream cut of this video, I won't be explaining this in English because there's going to be subtitles that you can use to see them. But for those of you watching on stream, some of you may need a little bit of an explanation into what Yuki just said. So this kanji is obviously a combination of the two kanji that we learned in the N5, which were thread and field. And what Yuki explained here is that if you were to write both thread and field in their original size, it would look more like two different words, thread and field, next to each other. So the most important part to remember when writing this kanji is to keep thread squeezed together on the left and field on the right, and squeeze them together a little bit so that they look like one kanji in a box. Imagine writing it in a box, even if you don't have a box, when you're writing the kanji. By the way, just quickly, Yuki, can you show us where the harais and tomes are on this one?
あ、そうですね。そこはやった方がいいか。
そうですね。
N5 の時にもやったんですけど、糸の、これはね、一角、これ、カクッとなって、これで1。で、次のやつも、ここから、これで2個です。これ1、2、2画目ね。で、ここは点が、ここ止めです。ここは止め。ちょっと止めって書きにくいな。
大丈夫だよ。書かなくて
はい。
大丈夫。
で、糸と全く同じなので、ここ縦棒が来て、ここはね、止めてるかな。ここ止め。で、左はここが、ので、ここが払いになります。ここが払い。はい。払いになります。で、ここも止めです。こことこことここは止めだね。ちょっと赤ペンが難しいかな。はい、止め。田んぼは特に
全部止めですね。
そう、全部止めだから、
はい、
書き順だけかな。でも書き順も N5 の時にやったので、ここではそんなに詳しくはやらない。
Hi. So Yuki mentioned that during N5 we covered the writing order of these things. So she's not going to go over the order a whole lot. But one thing we never covered in the N5 videos is harai, tome, and things like that. So we are gonna cover that for every single kanji during the live stream, because in the videos we never mentioned whether it was harai or not. So それを詳しくやってもいいと思います。Anyway, so harai, by the way, is sweeping the stroke out to the left for those of you who are not aware of that. There's another type of stroke, which we'll cover when we get to that one. And tome means you stop your pen when you get to the bottom or end of the stroke. All right, so that was that one. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look. Wait a second, I wasn't on screen. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the story for this kanji. A story is best if you made it. If you made a story for the kanji, it will stick way better than one that I made. But I make one for every single kanji to sort of give you an idea of what you can use in a story. The main thing you want in a story is the parts. Every single part that is in the story and the meaning if possible. Anything that gives you a hint at the stroke order is helpful, but that can be very tough as we get into more complicated kanji. Okay, so the story that I came up for this one is, make sure to close your eyes and really try to imagine this. That's really one of the most important things. Imagine that you see what looks like a thin and dainty piece of thread lying next to a rice field. But it's actually a thin and dainty person. I hope they're okay. All right, taking a look at the history for this kanji, it doesn't look very different from the original. The only history that I was able to pull up for this kanji were the big seal version and the small seal version. Once again, small seal are generally still actually used on like hanko, stamps that are used for signatures here in Japan. So you may actually see this someday, but it's not too different historically than it is now. We've got the thread on the left, which is more like like a shish kebab on a fork, and then a rice field on the right, but it's still the same thing. If you don't remember last week or you weren't here, or Monday, not last week, Monday for that stream, we did a very detailed breakdown on what these histories are. So you can go back and take a look at that, or we'll actually be releasing a clip of that so you can go back and check anytime you want what each of these big seals, small seals, etc. are. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and take a look at a word.
はい。細い。細い。
All right. Hosoi means thin and slender. So right away, we get a word that is using the meaning of the kanji that we learned. The pitch accent for hosoi is?
細い。
So you go up and down.
細い。合ってるよね。
合ってるよ。It is an E adjective, and there's only one kanji, and that is the thin and dainty kanji. So next, let's go over a sentence that uses the kanji.
はい。細くて長い犬。細くて長い犬。
All right. 細くて長い犬. So we've got thin, and it's in its te form. It's adjective te form, which means it means thin and nagai, which we learned back in N5, and that's a long dog. Thin and long dog. Okay. So that's a very simple sentence talking about describing an animal. Yuki's not only is the dog thin and long, but its face is also thin and long, apparently.
いるよね、長くて細い犬。
いますよね、そういう犬。
こういう
There are dogs like that.
こういうやつ。
I love how you're able to write this while you're watching yourself write it on the camera. Instead of actually looking at what you're writing.
足がちょっと細すぎた。
Its right arm is way too long. Oh, like a bullseye. Yes, like a bullseye. Yes, indeed. That is exactly what it is. Like.
確かにダックスフンドもいるよね。こういう感じだよね。
そうそうそう。Mandy, we'll go ahead and jump into chat now. Mandy M says, Ohayo, this is my second live. I really should go back to N5. That rhymes. But this is fun. I remembered katana from last week. My first thought for this kanji was noodles. Watashi wa hosoi men ga suki desu. いいですね。
いいですね。
It looks like you're fine. You can stick around here without going back to N5. You're already making a very comprehensible sentence. Nice alien they drew there. Yes, indeed. I was about to say that, says Miyoki. 宇宙人かもしれません。そうかもね。A hot dog. Yes, yes. Oh, there's a hot dog right there on Yuki's. That one, eh?
ね
ダックスフンドそうやって言うんだっけボルゾイ。そう。
ボルゾイはね、ボル
イ。
ゾイで、ダックスフンドはハッダッグの方ですね。
The hot dog ね。そうです。Actually pulling hot dog out of the microwave. Nice.
Oh.
I haven't had a hot dog in a long time. Since the last time I went to Costco, which was a while ago. I was thinking more like a dachshund. Yes, yeah, exactly. Dachshund.
ダックスフンド。
Dachshund in Japanese. はい。
ね、大変だ。
大変ですか？
大変だ。
Yuki's microphone is falling off the desk. Our desk is starting to fall apart. I think we need to get a new desk.
大変なことが起きています。
はい、ちょっと持っててね。
うん、持ってる。
いや、もう限界ですね。
もうダメ？
もうデスク買わなく。
じゃあどうすればいいんですか？このマイクは今日ずっと持つ？
とりあえずちょっと持ち上げてくれる？
うん。
はい。
どうですか？このマイクがアンステーブルで。
Okay, I think that'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's
ありがとうご
that's
ざい
better.
ます。
Technical difficulties, physical difficulties, not physical difficulties. Blame the mic falling on the long, thin dogs. Yeah, it's probably their fine. Their problem for sure. ドジャスドッグ
ドジャースドッグはあれかな？大谷さんのドッグ？
I don't know. This is like when I went to a taping of a live radio show in Chicago. Wait, don't tell me. And we got to see all the bones of the production, recording do-overs, etc. Yeah, that is exactly what these streams are like. That's what the Genki streams are like as well. Although they were usually pretty smooth. Like there wasn't a whole lot going on. And I usually try not to like really stop and like redo a whole part. I have done that like once. And actually, I re-recorded on my own off live stream a full section once because I made like a pretty major mistake once. Or it just came out really bad. I can't remember. But other than that. Dodgers dogs are really long hot dogs they famously sell at Dodger Stadium. Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Konnichiwa. Glad I made it to the live. Welcome. What's up, fam? I'm glad you made it too.
ありがとうございます。
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next kanji.
はい。
Hey. Our next kanji is kind of a cool one. I like this kanji. It's a very the meaning is like part of it. It's very easy to figure out what this one means, although you might be forgiven for thinking it means sun, which it doesn't, but also does. There is a sun on top of life, which gives us a meaning of star. The sun is a star, so that kind of works. You think the sun gives life to the things down on Earth, right? If we didn't have a sun, we wouldn't have any life. But this one is mostly used for stars in general. So the other stars aren't necessarily giving us life, but they may be giving life to something on the planets that surround them. So it makes sense, right? The main radical in star is obviously sun. The other part is life. So sun and life, and there are 9 strokes. So Yuki's going to go ahead and show those to us right now.
はい。書いていきたいと思います。みんな結構この漢字好きだね、きっと。はい。どうでしょうか。この2つの漢字もね N5 の時にやりましたので、まあちょっとそうね、火は多分みんな大丈夫だよね、これ。
火は大丈夫でしょう。
まあ、この生まれるっていう字の1、2、3、4、この5画目だね。これ5画目。ここの部分だけ、まあ、払いになります。その他は全部のストロークは止めだね。でここの一番最後のこの生まれるのこのボトムの1はこういうアングルのナイス&ロングで書いた方がまあ綺麗にまとまるかな。でバランス的にはなんですけど、さっきの細いっていう漢字は横にさくっついてたじゃん、左と右側だけど、今度は上と下にその N5 の漢字がそれぞれくっついてるね。これも一応、書 考え方的にはこのボックスにあるっていう考え方なので、ちょっとここが大きめにちょっとボックスを書きますが、ここにね、上の半分にだいたい1個の漢字が来て、ここに1個の漢字が来て、下の半分にこのもう1個生きるっていう漢字が来た方が、まあうまくスクイッシュして、一つの漢字に見えやすくて、バランスよく書けるかなと思います。フルサイズで書いてみた方がいい？
大丈夫です。
はい、大丈夫ですね。
はい。
はい。
All right, so the main things that Yuki broke down right now, for those of you who are watching on stream, are that the fifth stroke, the first, I believe the first one in to live, or for life, is a harai stroke. So you sweep that out to the left. And then the bottom and final stroke, the ninth stroke, is really nice and long and sort of like a little dome. Just a little bit of a doming there, right? And then because, unlike the last kanji, this one is two different kanji combined vertically, you want to make sure that they're sort of squished together so that they look like a single kanji and not two different kanji being written vertically, right? That's the main thing to keep in mind with this kanji. Okay, thank you.
はい。
Hi. I'll just take a quick little break to answer a question. Is that the sun, or is that actually the one that looks like a sun but isn't? And you're thinking of iwaku, which means according to. This is not iwaku. This is indeed sun, which it would be weird if it was iwaku because that would completely ruin the meaning of it, I guess. But anyway, yes, this is actually sun. Okay, so the story for this one is: imagine you are looking at the sun, which is a star high above. You see its beams of light streaming down around you, giving life to all it shines on. Okay, so that's the story. Let's go ahead and take a look at the history. There wasn't a whole lot of history I could find for this one, at least modern-wise. I found the Oracle Bones version, which is really kind of cool. It's like 5 stars surrounding a little tree or bush or something. I'm not really sure what's going on with this one, but
いや、私は今回この、ヒストリーのやつを分析するためにこのよく見えるようにね持ってきましたんで、こちら。
Yuki brought mushi megane to look at the history really closely. It might be easier to see it over here. やっぱり Interestingly.
いやー、なかなか面白いですね。ちょっとまあ5スターっていう考え方でいくと、この丸はまあいい感じにバランスよく置いてあるかなぐらい。
The 5 little stars are in a good order, she said. I do want to mention, I could have sworn that I added more history to this kanji, and I just took a look at my my little dictionary over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at here. There are definitely other historical images, so this is a little bit of a mistake on my part, I guess. This is another version of the Oracle Bones ones. This is a Bronze Age one. This is an ancient one. This is the small seal. There's actually 2 different versions of small seal that are here. They're essentially the same as they are now. We've got a couple stars up above, or 1 star up above, or a couple stars up above, and then it's life down beneath. And that's because the older versions used to be 3 stars above, or even white, 3 whites up above, and then soil down below. So bit of an interesting history there. Sorry about that. You can get this dictionary on the dictionary app if you're on iOS. And yeah, that's it. Sorry about that. Somehow I messed up adding the history to this one. I remember adding multiple history images to this one, but they're not showing up. So it is what it is. Probably my fault.
もしかしてさ、これあれかな、Meteor なんかその落ちてくるやつ。
A falling star? It could be. I don't know.
かな。
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our first word for this kanji. Very straightforward. It's just a single kanji, and it's read as
星星
and it means the things visible in the night sky that appear as small points of shining light, used for all heavenly bodies, including the sun, planets, and stars. And the second meaning here is the star symbol is also called hoshi. The reason I made a super complicated definition like this is because I translated a native Japanese dictionary. And the reason that I did that instead of just putting star is because a lot of learners get quite confused by the fact that star is not just the stars. Hoshi can actually be used for planets as well. Basically, anything that looks like a star in the night sky is referred to as hoshi, which we would never do in English. We would never call a planet a star. Like, we would be very specific about the fact that there's a planet and a star. Now, there are other words for planets as well, but you can refer to planets as hoshi, and the sun is a hoshi, which is the same as in English, but I wanted to specify that in our definition here. So the pitch for this is
星星
yeah, and it's a noun, obviously. Let's go ahead and take a look at a sentence for hoshi.
ここから星を見たいここから星を見たい
All right. So here from star object look one, we've got koko here. Kara. So koko kara is from here. Hoshi, star. O. So star is the object, the direct object of mitai, which is miru, to look, and want to. So mitai, want to. If you're on Hirameki, you can go ahead and click on these and get a more detailed explanation of what the grammar in each little word or sentence means by just clicking on that and see more details. And then we've got nice big explanations there for you to take a look at. All right, let's see what was happening in chat.
はい
Don't let the Pleiades figure a lot in Don't the Pleiades figure a lot in Japanese history? For instance, carrying into the Subaru logo. Yeah, there is a lot of star mythology in Japanese mythology and history. For example, the 7th of July, or in some places the 7th of August, is Tanabata. And it's a myth about a god and a princess who they fell in love. They were put together by their fathers and they fell in love, but they fell in love so much that they stopped working. They stopped doing their jobs. So the one father pulled them apart and said they could only meet one day a year. And that one day of year is August 7th. And that is the day that those two stars come together in the sky once every year. So that's a whole mythology that was put together for those two stars coming together in the sky. So yes, the stars very much do figure into Japanese mythology and history, I guess. If you want to separate those out or keep them together, it depends on you. I noticed that middle stroke isn't going all the way across. Let me jump back. I think you're talking about hoshi. I noticed that middle star doesn't jump all the way across. Are you talking about this one? Or this one? This one is a little bit shorter. So usually in kanji like this, the top one is middle length, the middle one is short, and then the bottom one is the longest. That's usually what happens with these. If that's what you're talking about. Excuse me, Steven. Final Fantasy 7 uses hoshi for planet, and I was very confused at first thinking they were talking about the star they live on. Yeah. See, it happens a lot. My new favorite stream, says Wick. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Glad to hear it. It's a globular cluster. I'll make those bigger for next time, Yuki.
はいありがとうございます
Since we're talking, Alex, I'm going to forget this. So I don't mean to say it on stream, but for some reason, the markdown that puts this to the next line isn't working on this. It's a silly thing. Don't worry about it too much. I'm just going to forget if I don't mention it now. So everyone forget about that. I really like the history of the kanji. It's very helpful for me personally. Arigatou gozaimasu. I'm glad to hear that. I really enjoy the history as well. That's why I do it. I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to the history because it's really cool. The word planet comes from a word for wander, i.e. they were stars that wandered around. That's pretty cool. Kinsei, yes. Venus, eh? Well, to be fair, Mars and Jupiter look very much like colored stars. Yeah, I mean, when you see planets in the night sky, if you don't have a telescope, they're going to look like stars. So I imagine like a long time ago in English even, or whatever English came from, they probably didn't differentiate them too much. But I know even thousands of years, people spent more time looking at the stars than they do today because they were much clearer due to less light pollution and they had a lot less to do at night. So they probably noticed that they were moving differently, and that's how they figured out what planets are, right? Silly history lesson that I just made up. My sight is very bad too. I can barely see any color in the stars and planets. I'm here. I will take a look. Forget about what? If I were to remember the English version of Final Fantasy VII, they say planet all the time. Don't they space travel?
惑星か星ってことですよね。恒星かってことですよね。
そうだよね。
まあ理科の世界ではね、恒星が星だよね。
恒星？
自分が光ってるやつ。
Things that put off their own light are referred to as 恒星。
そう。
And then 星 is star, 星。
そう。
で、恒星 is 光る。
違います。
No?
なんかね、難しい漢字なんですよ、それは。確か。こういう字だと思う。
はいはいはいはいはいはいはい。
これが恒星で。
そうだよね。
これがスターってやつですよね。
This is the scientific word for star in Japanese ね。No, that's right. I've seen that before.
で、惑星が、これもね、難しい字なんですけど、これ惑星が、これプラネットだよね、本当は。
Yeah. That's the actual planet one. But even star is in the word, the Jukugo for planet. So, interesting. All right. I think it's time to jump into our next kanji, which is this one. I personally really like this kanji. Let's start that over again. Our next kanji is this one. And I really like this kanji. We've got this little cliff up here, and then a white kanji and a small kanji down below. And it just looks like a little ghost dude floating around in like a little weird cave or something. But that has nothing to do with the meaning at all, because they're certainly not in a cave. And there's certainly no ghosts involved. But it means meadow. Why does it mean meadow? I don't know. If I had to think about it, I could imagine being at the bottom of a cliff. And, well, you know what? Let's save that for the story. Let's find out how to write it first. These are the strokes in meadow. And the main radical is cliff for some reason. I guess you could imagine a meadow at the bottom of a cliff or even on the top of a cliff if the cliff were a plateau cliff. The parts are cliff, white, and small, as I mentioned below, and there are 10 strokes. So let's go ahead and see those 10 strokes.
はい、書いていきます。ちょっとね、バランスが取りにくい感じですね。ちょっとクリフがすごいロングになっちゃった。
もう一回書いとく？
ショートクリフにしとく？
The beautiful thing about live streams that we cut later is you can just do it again. どうぞどうぞ、もう一回。
すいません。
She made her cliff too long. It's a big cliff.
だったね。こんな感じかな。はい。ちょっとショーターにしました。
はい。
ここのね。まあ、トゥーロングでもいいんだけど、ここが払いだったらね。1画目は、この右からこっちがファーストストロークになります。ここは1で、ここ止めね。止め。で、2画目がこっちになりますね。この払い。払いが2画目です。で、この中のね、白と小さいっていう漢字は、この、クリフの中に収まるように書くといいかな。で、白は、N5 でもやったんですけど、ここのの、ここののの最初のストロークは、払い。払い書きにくいな。
いいよ。英語で。
はい、払いで、その後は全部止めで白ですね。で、小さいっていう方はこれが縦棒でちょっとね小さめっていうかスクイッシュな感じに書くんだけど、これは縦でここが羽ですね。ここ跳ねる。でこっちは払い。でここはここねは止めます。こんなところかな。
はい。
いいかな。
All right, guys. So most of you probably got a good idea of what was going on there, but I just want to explain really quickly. The first stroke goes up to the right a little bit and stops, with the second stroke being haraid down to the left. We then have white being haraid in the first stroke as normal, and then you draw a sun below it, although it's a little bit more squished than a normal white would be. White is generally very tall, but once again, we're trying to keep all of these things within the cliff because the cliff is an enclosure. So you need to squish white together a little bit and also squish the kanji for small down a little bit below that. Small, the first stroke has a haneru, so it gets swept up to the left. And then the third stroke in small is a harai, so you sweep that one out and then you stop the final stroke in small, just like you would if you were writing it as a normal kanji. Those are the main things you need to worry about there. All right, thank you very much. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the story for this. I like this story. I made this one when I was first learning kanji over a decade ago. So it's still with me today. Imagine that you're standing on a tall cliff. Below it, you see a beautiful meadow with a small brook flowing through it. White rapids glistening on top of it in the light of the early morning. If you reverse the order of those parts and said there are white rapids glistening on a small brook flowing through it, that might give you a better idea at the order of these parts. And maybe I should actually change this story to be in that order. I'll make a note of that for later. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the history for this one. It has not changed much.
へえ、なるほどね。
This one is very clear, eh? We've got a cliff and there's a river running through it. Or maybe like a waterfall?
River なのかな。ロードだと思った。
Yuki thought it was a road. でもさ、ロードは昔こういう風に書いてなかったんじゃないですか。
そうだね。
I don't think there were roads 3,000 years ago that had yellow lines down the middle. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, the big seal version looks a lot like it does today. And then the small version is like a Roman helmet or something at the bottom of a cliff.
もしかしてウォーターフォール
It could just be a waterfall, yeah. I could see a waterfall going down into a meadow. Waterfalls maybe often lead to meadows, right? You get a nice water falling off of a cliff and that flows down into the meadow.
Is it also a tome on the last stroke of short? Yes ですね。
It is indeed.
この最後のこっちの点ってことだよね。
はい。
きっと。
It is tome.
はい。
We'll come back to that in a moment for you. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into the first word for this kanji. And you'll see that we only have a kanji for the second part of the word, and that's because you won't learn this kanji until a little bit later in this series. We'll have this word show up again when we have both kanji for this word. But for now, we'll just go with no, and let's have Yuki read the word for us.
野原。野原。
Right? And nohara is a place with lots of grass and weeds that is wide and flat. A field, a plain, prairie, more. There are various different ways you could refer to it. This refers to all of those. Nohara. The pitch is
野原。
合ってるよ。
野原。野原。
Right? And it is a noun. So nohara. You'll see this kanji showing up a little bit later. It's the one that's in Nagano, which is where we live. And that just means it's a long plain, basically. It looks like OBS disconnected. So you guys might not be seeing us right now. Looks like OBS disconnected for a moment, so you might not be seeing us right now. But if you're seeing us now, it looks like it's reconnected, so that's good. All right, so that's the pitch for that. Let's go ahead and take a look at a sentence with this word in it. Onegai shimasu.
はい。野原でお弁当を食べましょうか。野原でお弁当を食べましょうか。
All right, so let's break this one down. We have nohara de. So via a plain or a meadow, so or in a plain or a meadow. obento. So bento is like a Japanese lunchbox, and that's the direct object of tabemashou ka, which is eat, and that's going to show up down there. But the mashou ka ending means let's do this. So let's eat a bento in the meadow. Meadow via bento object, eat, let's. All right. So someone had a question in chat a moment ago. They said, is the last stroke of small tome? And yes, indeed it is. If you could just write small for, what's that? Hello, chocolate, my old friend. So you got the hane. And then that one stops right there. Yes. And even in the full kanji, that is a stop. Gooby Doob, welcome to the stream. What about kusachi? I thought that was meadow. There are probably like 100 words for meadow, prairie, field, valley, gorge, all these different things in Japanese. You'll probably see 50,000 different ones. There's a little bit of a small change in feel, how narrow it is, how wide it is, depending on the word that's being used and the context is being used in. Kusachi can be used for a meadow that is full of lots of weeds and grass and things like that. It can absolutely be used for that. Nohara is another one. So yeah, there are many different words. If you read a book, like if you were to read The Lord of the Rings, which I have back here in Japanese, you would be shocked how many different words are being used for those things I just mentioned right now. There are all kinds of things. Nohara is also a very popular last name in Japan. It is indeed. Yeah, good point, Dan. All right, a little stop. You're back. Okay, good. So we disappeared for a moment, eh? Fortunately, I'm recording, so we won't lose anything.
草地、まあそうだよね。草地だと grass area って感じ。
Grassy area, ne? A grassy area. A meadow or a plain. Like if you think of a plain and a grassy area in English, you wouldn't really conflate the two to be identical, right? Yeah, a grassy area might just be a field out behind your house or something, whereas a plain or like a meadow in terms of a plain is like a wide, vast, open area with lots of fields and all kinds of things. And maybe something like that is closer to Nohara. Maybe.
そうかもね。
I just want to let you guys know I'm getting all kinds of alerts for power outages all around our area, so we may go in and out throughout this stream. Just keep that in mind. Kusachi. If we were to look that up in a native Japanese dictionary, the definition is quite simple. We've got
草が生えている土地。
yeah. So a piece of land that has grass in it or weeds in it. Whereas Nohara is a bit more complicated.
なんか野原って聞くと結構なんていうの？ああいうローリングヒルって感じ。
Rolling hills ね。Here 建物などのない草の生えた広い平地。So a flat area, a wide and flat area that has weeds and grass that is growing and that has no buildings or anything like it. So a little bit different, eh? But essentially the same, right? Not that different.
Wow.
I mean, they're different. They're definitely different. But you may have learned. This is, and I always mention this. This is the trouble with learning a single English word as the meaning for something. That's why I try to do things like this as we go up in level. I try to add a definition for words. Beyond like very basic nouns like dog and cat, like dog is inu and cat is neko. Like they don't have, is it neko or neko? That one, neko. They don't have different meanings, right? Those are just one-to-one. But like a lot of nouns, a lot of verbs, a lot of adjectives, they are not one-to-one. So if you just learn nohara as meadow on its own, you might be confused when you thought something else was meadow. So that becomes difficult. So it's important really basically pretty early on to start getting a little bit more detailed with your meanings of words, which is what I've been doing a lot lately. A place with lots of grass and weeds that is wide and flat. A field, a plain, prairie, more. I could add with no buildings to this, and that might help a bit as well. All right, good to know. Thanks. You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next kanji for today. This is a fun one.
Hi.
All right, our next kanji for today. This one looks like a T with a no part thrown through it. But it is neither of those things, and it's probably not what you might expect. I don't know what you're expecting. I'm not a genius, so I don't know what to expect. Let's find out. It means genius. Ha ha ha. I can still fit dajare into my live streams, although I'm not that good at it. Yes, it means genius. The word we're going to be learning for this does not mean genius because this is borrowed for its reading, but we'll get to that, right? The meaning is genius. That is exactly what this means. You'll see it in words that mean genius and some other things as well, but you won't learn the word for genius till quite a bit later, so unfortunately. Because you have to be a genius. This is how you write this one. The main radical in genius, and don't ask me why, is hand. Now, hand on the left, when hand is on the left in the hen position, does look a lot like this, just squished together. So that's probably because, we'll see in the history, that's probably where this came from. I broke it down to be a little bit easier with our story to be a one, a no, and a, what do you call this? A feathered staff, or a feathered staff, I believe. So there's 3 strokes. Let's go ahead and see how Yuki writes them.
はい、書いていきます。はい。このフォントよりもなんかここを突き出さないんだけど、ちょっとだけここのなんていうの、いつも私はこの入りのところをこう突き出す感じで、サイティージを書いています。もちろんね、フォントみたいにこのこうやって書いても全然 OK です。ただね、ここが気をつけなきゃいけないのが、ここから書くとカタカナの「お」になってしまいます。だからそれは気をつけなきゃいけないね。ここが1画目1は止めで、2画目はこの縦棒で跳ねます。ここ跳ねで、3画目はちょっとここで私は突き出して、ここで突き出してから左に払い、こんな感じかな。
はい。All right, so Yuki wanted to mention during this that if you were to look at the font here, the font clearly is sticking out quite a bit here, but when she writes it, she tends to only stick out the third stroke a little bit on the left, a little bit, or on the right, I'm sorry, a little bit. So the first stroke goes up to the right a little bit, it's a 1. Then we have the second stroke down, and that hanes up, it's a haneru, so it sweeps up to the left. And then the third stroke sticks out just a little bit and is haraid to the left. Now, she mentioned that it's perfectly fine to write it like this if you want. It's just easier to balance this way.
なんかカリグラフィーのせいかな。
Or perhaps because she did calligraphy a lot. This tends to be how they would write it with calligraphy.
カリグラフィーだとここにちょっと置いただけでもう筆がこうそうそう、このぐらい出ちゃうから、なんかこの入りだけがこういう風に。
When you're using a calligraphy pen, just putting your pen down makes it stick out quite a bit, so you don't need to go out very far with it. So that leads to her handwriting often being like this as well. The main thing she said you want to be careful about is you don't want to start this stroke too far up, because if you start it way up here like this, it's the katakana o. And you don't want the katakana o. You want the kanji for genius. By the way, it's genius as in smart person. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into the story for this one. The story is, this is a pictograph of a genius. No, a genius, no. He's got a sword in hand as he charges into battle. He's a genius with his hands and anything he holds in them. This is all I could see when I looked at this kanji. He holds it in his hand, and that is the main radical. That's why that's the part of this one, right? He's cute. All right, the history of this one, it doesn't look like a hand to me. Not at all. It looks like a cross and someone on it. Or a flag, like a battle flag.
なんなんだろうね、そのモチーフ。
ね。
不思議ですね。
I believe we could find out. what the motif is. If I just put this, and then we went to here, and then we could see that it is a pictograph, if a tree, and a stick, and the 10 character に組み合わせて縛った形にはたどる。
へえ。
かたどる。
なるほど。
はい。
こうやってこれ邪魔か。いやその辞書のね、言うにはこの枝があるじゃないこの木のスティック。
So there's a branch on a tree.
こういうものをなんかこう組み合わせてこう縛ってある。
So you got something tied to a tree.
そうそう。っていうそのなんかそれが
A
モチー
motif
フ
of
らしい。
something tied to a tree, ne? That's what it's supposed to look like. Only a genius would know what was going on there. That's why that happens. All right. Unfortunately, Lazy Werebear, you were not quite right on what the word was going to be. And I can't remember why we didn't choose tensai as our word. Probably because maybe it wasn't N4 or 5. It might be an N3 word or something. We went with this.
Sai.
Which is just years old or the age of someone. Now, this is one of the only words that uses this kanji that kids learn in the Kanken 9. This is pretty much the only word that it shows up in. And that's because this is used as a shorthand version of a much more complicated kanji that is actually the one for years old. The one for years old is a bit too hard for second-year elementary school kids to learn. So most kids learn how to write this first. And that's why this is such a low-level kanji. It's not because it's simple. It's because kids use it really early. And they use it for this word only. So this is why we chose this word. We do not have a pitch accent for this word because the pitch accent changes depending on what number comes before it. And that's because this is a counter. We never include pitch accent for counters on Hirameki on our website because, once again, it often changes depending on the number that comes before it. So putting a pitch accent here, we'd have like 30 of them. Maybe not that many, but it's just kind of pointless. So we just have the part of speech here. And yeah, it means years old. So here's a sentence with that.
あなたは何歳ですか? あなたは何歳ですか?
All right, breaking that one down, we have you, あなたは, you're the topic. 何歳, so what years old, so how old. ですか, are you? It is, ka, question marker. So you, topic, what age it is, question. How old are you? Make it up. You don't have to tell the truth. This is the internet. And yes, Andres, that is the correct kanji. Lazy Werebear, that is it as well. I always thought te being the radical is more like not knowing what to do with o, since there's not a lot of similar things, so they just added it into this radical because it looked similar. It could be that. I imagine there's a bit more of a historical reason. They tended to be a bit more, what would you call it? I forgot English. Bit more intentional with what they were choosing for these. Often anyway. But I'm not sure. It could just be that. It looks like, it's a lot. Yeah, sai, ne? Sai is a bit difficult. Jussai is definitely a bigger challenge. Yeah, writing that as a 7-year-old is a bit much to expect, I think. Although they do write quite complicated kanji in level 9, just not that complicated. They also don't learn through stories like we do, so it's a little bit harder to just remember all of those strokes. There's a lot going on in the regular site. 20 years old is different, right? 20 years old still can use the same kanji. It's just the reading, there's a special reading for it. So hatachi, right? You can still use the same kanji. Yuki can write it out for us there if she wants to. 英語忘れちゃった。
I want to. はい。まあ20歳ですよね。
人生のゲームでレベル40です says come to Japan. He's level 40 in the game of life. So there is the real writing of 20 years old, and that would be hatachi. No individual kanji is read as ha or ta or chi. It's just hatachi is the word. And you could also read this as 20歳 and it would be perfectly fine.
このちょっと歳の書き順にはちょっとだけ自信がありません。
Does Yuki have a kanji that she hated learning writing more than others? When I try to draw these, I relate to the videos of kids crying over the kanji homework. Oh my God, Yuki just busted that kanji out, no problem, jaw dropping. I mean, she's a native Japanese person who has been writing Japanese for 30 years-ish. Not that long, maybe. Yeah, if she couldn't write any of this, yeah. I wanna rant for a moment. Hope you don't mind. I'm gonna rant over here. So a big argument by Japanese learners from the West online these days is that there's no need to learn how to write kanji because not even Japanese people don't remember how to write a lot of kanji. And they're not wrong. Like, Japanese people do forget how to write certain kanji correctly. But they're also not right because every single, except for there are illiterate people in Japan who have trouble writing still to this day, just like there are in every country and in every language. But 98% of Japanese people can write Japanese. They can write pretty much probably 2,000 kanji, at least to the Kanken level 3, correctly and at will, really, really fast. And it's like, you still have to write your resume handwritten in this country. Like, handwriting is such an important part of daily life and culture here. People are like, Japanese people should get rid of kanji and change to just hiragana and katakana. And there are 50,000 arguments about why that's a silly idea. But what people don't realize is that Japanese people are really proud of the fact in general that they learned all this stuff. Because kanji aren't easy. It took them, how long did it take you to learn all of the kanji, Yuki? How many years? She started when she was 6.
6 to up to the end of the high school third grade だよね.
High school third grade, right? So 18 years old. So 12 years. You've learned most of the ones you need for daily life by the end of middle school, right? Of junior high school. So 15. So 9 years it takes them. Most people are pretty proud of the fact that they could write Japanese if it took 9 years to learn, right? And they think, hey, it took me 9 years. They don't expect us to be able to write them at all because it took them 9 years. I've been learning Japanese for 15 years, so I should be able to write to a certain extent. But for most people who just came to Japan for a visit, of course you can't write. You've only been learning for a year. People are out there trying to learn all of the kanji in a year, oh, I'm going to be perfect, and blah, 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 blah. Or they just, you don't need to write because Japanese people don't write. You don't need to learn to write if you don't want to, but using the argument that Japanese people don't remember how to write is invalid because Japanese people forget some very complicated kanji sometimes, but they can still write super, super ridiculously fast. Just as fast as you can write your name in English, Japanese people can write a word in kanji, no problem. So, end of rant. Yuki, do you have a kanji that you did not enjoy learning in school that you really hated?
そんな特にあんまり考えたことない。
She's never really thought about it.
でもそのさ、腹みたいな字、そのさっき私やっぱ年っていう漢字書き順間違えてたんですけど、すいませんね。こういう時このさ、のから始まるのか、これがね。
はいはいはい。
それとも、腹はさっき1から始まったじゃん。こういう風に。これが覚えられない、どうしても。そこが嫌だな。そう、それが嫌だなって思う。
So she hated when she was learning, for parts like this, where depending on the kanji they're in, the stroke order is different. For year, no comes first. Or for years old, no comes first, and then there's a line on top of them for hara, the one we just learned. This line's first, and this one's second. She could never remember those, so she used to get very annoyed at those kinds of things.
そう、スペシフィック漢字はないんですけど、そんなに。
So there's no specific kanji she really disliked learning. It's just little things like that, little complicated things like that got annoying.
細かいですよね、すごく。
Chaz Hoosier said, welcome to the stream, by the way. Good to see you. I like your thumbnail of a Suzume. It's kind of like saying you don't need to learn how to spell because English speakers are sometimes bad at spelling. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. But people say it with a straight face. Major influencers will use that as their argument for why you don't need to learn to write in Japanese. That's their argument. Some people are bad at spelling, so you don't have to learn how to spell English words. Genius take, guys. Anyway, why don't we change all of the ridiculous grammar rules and spelling in English while we're at it? That's actually a good idea. They just have enough exposure to kanji, and with most of them, you can figure out the stroke order based on some rules. You can, but you probably can't write it still. Oh, yeah, Japanese people as well. Yeah, of course. Clip that. I mean, I'm studying Japanese because writing is so difficult, a huge challenge that can be achievable. Kanji are great because they are very information dense. Also, not enough sounds to use, only use kana. Yeah.
母は花が好き。
母は花が好き. Yeah, that's, or, なんだっけ、すももも、すももも、ももも、桃のうち。
はい。
すもももももももももも、すももももももも桃のうち。
はい、違いますね。
No? すもももももも桃のうち。
はい。
That's kanji make that readable. Just saying it does not. 一番好きな漢字は何ですか？
ねえ、一番好きな漢字。最近一番好きな漢字なんだろうね。
I like mae, or at least I used to like mae. I'm not really sure what my favorite is now either.
前じゃないの？
I like mae. I like nagai.
長いね。
Nagai is a fun kanji. I like both of the kanji in Nagano. Not just because I like Nagano. I just think they're
まず
fun. But yeah, that's my favorite. Or was at least.
これね。これが前っていう感じですね。
Nice,
アンディは
Ipsy.
これ。
So I like that one. I think it's kind of neat.
で、長野か。
特に長い. I don't know, I like that one. This is one I kind of like.
長いってうまく書けないんだよね。
It's tough.
ちょっとアグリ。ちょっとアグリとか。
I want to be able to write longhand, but reading kanji is higher priority for me. Of course. And that's fine. It's fine if you decide you don't want to write. It's just, I don't like when people use the excuse that Japanese people can't write, so we don't have to. Like, it's just a bad excuse. That's all. It's just be straightforward and be like, I don't feel like it. Or I prefer not, I don't care. That's much better. The kanji kept popping up for me this year in class. I like this kanji as well. I think this is cool. I love the like spear part on the right. It's really neat. And then sato being sort of like sliced up to the right like that so that this can fit in there. I don't know. I like this kanji quite a bit.
ちなみに野原の野です。
This is the no for nohara. Yes. As a native Spanish speaker, it's funny how many Japanese words sound exactly like completely different Spanish words and vice versa. Yeah, I've seen that a lot because I used to be able to speak a decent amount of Spanish before I came to Japan. And I kept mixing those words up because of how similar they sounded. But all right, I think we should pop on to the next kanji. After this one, there's going to be a quiz maybe. Wait, we're how many in? We're going to have a midpoint quiz. So I think it might be after this one. If not, I'm really sorry, but I'm just limited on learning time to goals, and knowing the kanji and words with kanji lets me use an IME to write emails. Yeah, I am not. Let me be clear about my rant. I am not suggesting that if you don't learn to write, there's something wrong with you or that's bad. That's not what I'm saying. I was just ranting about that argument of why you shouldn't write. That's all. It's fine if you just want to learn to read. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's all. はい。桃は早口言葉ですね。Yes. すもももももも桃のうち is a 早口言葉. It's a fast, what do you call it? Tongue twister. Okay. 長野に住んでいますか？来年長野に行きますよ。いいですね。女子トーヒルかな？ Yes, we live in Nagano. I've lived in Nagano for 14-ish years. I love Nagano. I was only supposed to be here for a year, but I fell in love with the city, so I stayed. All right, let's go. All right, our next kanji, it looks like a 9, right? You learn 9 in the N5 pretty early on, but for some reason, a little dot got in the way, and it became something completely different. Now, to you, does this look like a circle? Does this look nice and round to you? It doesn't look round to me at all. It looks very jagged, although maybe this little stroke is rounded. But despite that fact, this kanji means round. Yeah, this, whatever this is. I suppose if you were to take a 9 and then add one more line, you get a 10, which is a nice round number. It also has a round Roman numeral in it. So if you wanted to use that as a way to remember it, that could be fine, but it doesn't help me. This means round. Let's see the details. The main radical in round is that dot. That dot on the 9 is the main part. The total parts are 2, and they are 9 and the dot. And there's only 3 strokes, despite looking like there might be more, but no, it's just 3. Let's go ahead and see how Yuki writes it.
はい、書いていきたいと思います。ちょっとね、バランス取りにくいので、最初にボックスを久しぶりに書きます。こんなんでいいかな。あ、ちょっとあまりいいボックスじゃないですが、これに書きます。どうかな、ちょっとね、バランス取るのがとても難しいんですね。N5 の漢字で9やりましたね。ナンバーの9。こののでここ払って、すごくアングリーアップからのフィッシュフックで羽。で、今日のこの丸っていう漢字は、ここの9のこの最初ののの払いのところに点、これが丸です。気をつけたいところってか、このね、ここの、9の時にもそうだったんですけど、ここのこののの払い、ここが払いと、このもうダイナミックアップ、この9のここのフィッシュフックのね、持っていくところのアップのアングルは結構難しいんですけど、ブレイブリーに頑張ってこうアップしていきたいと思います。
はい。All right, I'll break that down for you guys. So the things to be careful with this one are when you're drawing your 9 part, writing your 9 part, you want to harai this part down here, nice and long. And then the most difficult part of this kanji and why it's so difficult to balance is that you need to be brave, as Yuki said, and really dynamically go up with your first part of the fishhook. Usually we always talk about kimochi up, it would just be like maybe to here. But no, this is a dynamic up. You go way up in the air and then curve it back down into your fishhook and then slice that thing up. That's a hane, right? Haneru. And then you get your little dot, which is apparently the main part of this kanji. Those are the main things to pay attention to for this. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Hi.
Hi. So for our story for circle, I made a picture for us. And that is, imagine that you see what you believe is a round circle etched into the ground from a distance. On closer inspection, you kind of walk up to that round circle in the ground, you find it's just 9 dashes arranged in a round circular fashion. Let's count. 1, 2, no, let's count in Japanese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 little dashes on the ground. Maybe it's like a Stonehenge or something. I don't know. That's what it is. That's the story. Let's go ahead and take a look at the history for this one. We've only got the big seal and small seal versions of this. The first one is like a person sort of prostrated on the right side of, I don't know.
ちょっと全然
Yuki's got to break out the mushi megane.
いやー、ちょっとわかんないですね。これね、このモチーフが全然見えませんね。
Would you like to go ahead and read about it, Yuki?
はい。
はい。
Sure. 何かわからないもの出た。側、傾くを左右逆にし、ちょっと読めない。はい。側、傾くを左右逆にした形。傾いたものはきちんと立たないことから丸くて回転するもの。引いて丸い意を表す。
So the person is sort of falling over, leaning over, and that gives us a meaning of round. Basically. So this is a person. It really is a person sort of leaning over with a big long alien head. That's all. Or a crazy haircut. And they're leaning over against, I don't know, a wall or something? That gave us round. Anyway, let's jump into our word for this one. What do you think it is?
丸
It's just maru. That's it. And this word maru is used for the symbol this symbol. We use this symbol. And we can use this symbol to mark that, or we can also use maru to indicate that something is good or correct. So you might see someone do this with their arms saying, hey, that's fine, that's good. You don't have to go any further. Or, yeah, it's okay, you can do this. Or maybe they put a circle on something to say that the question is correct or something like that. Yeah. Maru just means that it's correct or good, or it's the symbol for a circle. So it's not necessarily what we use to talk about round things, although there is an adjective that is used for that. But the word, the noun, this is a noun here, noun or a prefix, is used to mean these two things mainly. And the pitch accent is?
丸
Right.
丸
Right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sentence.
テストで丸をもらったテストで丸をもらった
So let's go ahead and break it down. We've got testo de, so via a test or on the test. Maru, so the round thing or a circle. Wo, that's the direct object of moratta, so I received in the past tense a circle on my test. So test via circle object received. Maru. All right. That's going to bring us to quiz time. So it's time for everyone to get involved. Let's go ahead and see what happened in chat first. What word is this? Probably talking about maru. Welcome to the stream, Fox Skin. We're learning the kanji and just one word for each kanji. How I imagine it went. Hey, we need something for round. How about maru? Guy who just invented this kanji. Now, hear me out. Goes ahead and writes maru on ZenBrush 3, and it's not too bad. It's not too difficult, yeah? Maru is one of the kanji that seems simple enough it would be everywhere, and yet I don't see it used in as many words as other low-stroke kanji. Yeah, it's not super commonly used in other words, but you see it. So happy I recognized when Yuki said katamuku, to lean. Yeah, nice. That's a good word.
ねでも難しい漢字だったねその辞書の傾く
Thanks, Alex.
ありがとうございます。これがねまたわからないものなんですけど、傾くは、こっちかな。それともこっちかな。
The kanji for katamuku?
をこの mirrored にした漢字が丸なんでしょ。このね難しい字なんですよ。この傾くは今現代語ではこういうこっちしかないよね、傾くって。
Right.
だけどこの辞書に出てきたのはこれがさ、
the old one ね。はい。
こうでしょ。
はい。
これをこのこういうことだよね。このこう。
Right. It's mirrored, eh?
So
this was the original kanji for this. This is the current version. This is the original version. And then circle, the one we just learned, is a mirrored version of this, to lean. So it's like a mirrored version. And that led to circular.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a bit fun. Maybe we should add that as a part of the history explanation to the cut. But anyway, it is quiz time, so we're going to go ahead and do the first part of the quiz. Saru wa marui desu. Yeah, that's a word that the way we would use this word for sure.
皿ね、皿。猿じゃなくて。
Did I say saru? My bad. Yeah. Sara wa marui desu. Not saru, which would be monkey. Not monkeys are round. Monkeys aren't very round. All right. For the first part of the quiz, you're going to write the kanji, which means listen. If you write the word out and share it here, the full word, you'll still get the answer right because you need the word to actually type the kanji. But if you're watching this on the replay, make sure to actually write the kanji when you see the English word for it pop up here. So you're going to write the kanji down either on the palm of your hand with your finger, or you're going to write it with a pen on a piece of paper. But for those of you watching on stream, make sure to just type it in using the word that we learned to write the kanji. The other day I mistook chi for sara. That's an easy one to mistake. All right, let's go ahead into the first one. This is part one. We've got star. I'll go ahead and do this one. Get the bananas ready while I get a drink.
こうですね。はい。 じゃあいきたいと思います。はい、アンドレス1番、レイジーウェアベア2番。ちょっと待ってね。ASD さんをちょっと飛ばしまして、みよきおさん3番、バークラーズエリットかな。
Ver Cruz でいいよ。
バークルーズさん、はい、ようこそ。4番、1234。カウントジャパン団5番。Hello Chocolate My Old Friend さん6番。5 Total Sloth Bear 7番。CBQ 8番。リックバードさん9番。モンタナマーゴ10番。モンティ
Non-typical
はい、
じゃない
違いました。失礼しました。ノンティピカルさん。
モンティ。
ごめん。ノンティピカルさん11番かな。1,2,3,4,5,6,7,8,9,10 11番だね。
はい、
11番。
Texas.
難しい。Texas
Your names are all very difficult for Japanese people to
12番。
read. And Star.Excalibur, nice.
エクスカリバーさん、はい、13番です。
You're all correct. It is indeed Star. And these are the parts, just so you can see again. All right. The next one's for me to do. We've got Thin and
ちょっ
Dainty.
とごめん、ほんと。ノンティピカルさん、ごめん。
No problem, no problem. You read it slow, you get Nanti. Nanti pickle.
そうなん
Lazy Werebear gets first place with Andres in second and Rick Bud 993 in third with the full word. Miyokio, you're in fourth with CB Cure in fifth place. Nice job. Come Japan Dan, you're there in seventh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with Dastardly Infallible. Welcome to the stream, unless I already said that. In number 7th place. 5 to Sloth Bear, you're number 8. And Montana Margo is in 9th place with the full word that we learned for Thin and Dainty. Nice job. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. There it is. Thin and Dainty is the answer. We're going to give the star
やばい、スターも書
Lazy.
かなんじゃったこのスターこ
Not the star, the banana. Sorry. You get a banana.
いやスターはスターもらいたいね。
あ、そうだね。確かに。
でもさっきのプロテインさんにはバナナもらいたいね。
そうそうそう。はい. Okay, our next one is for Yuki. Meadow. Have any of you ever played the game Meadow? It was a fun game for like a day or two. It was fun. It was an MMO where you couldn't talk and you were an animal and you ran around looking for stuff. It was
み
fun.
んな早いね。あ、レイジーウェイベア1番、カムトゥジャパンダン2番、アンドレス3番です。いや
Five Toes Lost Bear, fourth.
あ、ファイブトードスロースベアフォースじゃなかった4番。
Fourth is also correct.
あ、そうなんですけど。
そうだね。
はい、モンタナマーゴ5番。
Nice,
いいですね。
Alright. Let's go ahead and get that one up for the rest of you who couldn't remember Nohara. To get that kanji to pop up, that was indeed Meadow. 10 strokes in that one. Wakannai, says Rick, but understandable. No problem. Hi, Josh
はい、
Toohill.
ジョシュ・トゥーヒル6番。
忘れてしまいました。
はい、忘れてしまいま
Now
し
you
た。
didn't. To type it out, it was Nohara. Nohara. You could also just type Hara, and this one will pop up.
は
Hara.
い。そう。はら。
Hara on its own will get it, although hara on its own is not used very frequently as a word. That's why we taught Nohara first. Harajuku. Yeah, there's a good
そう
one.
そう、
That's a place.
原宿の原だね。
So a meadow sleeping place. Hello, chocolate, my old friend. You got there.
はい。
6,
7か。
Nice.
7番。みよきおさん、いいですね。
Nice.
8番です。
Very good. All right, the next one we want is round. Round. I believe this is the last one for this one. Skillor, you got there. 9th place. Nice job.
みんな偉い。
Lazy Werebear is in first place again. Lazy.
あ、
Hi, Lazy Werebear is in first place with Lazy Werebear is in first place with Andres in second. Goshi Makuguma is 5 toes off there, ne? Is in third place with Miyokyo in fourth. CB Cure in fifth. Rick Bud in sixth. Hello, Chocolate My Old Friend in seventh. Namae wa Buddy desu. Okie dokie. Welcome to the stream, Buddy. Come to Japan Dan is in 9th place in 8th place. And Montana Margot is in 9th. Very good job. All right. This is the kanji for round. We just learned it, eh?
丸
Maru.
あれだね、ゴシナマケグマだね。
ゴシナマケグマね。
怠けてるのかな。
怠けてるね。lazy ゴシ。
レイジーウェアベアじゃなくて
lazy werebear.
ゴシナマケグマ。
Oh, there's one more for Yuki.
はい。
リックと呼んでいい。わかりました。リックさんね、ありがとうございます。とバリ。
ありがとうございます。
So close, lazy werebear, but no. I know you're just trying to trick us. Oh, wait, 待って。
ちょっと待って。
It might be.
これちょっとわからないやつじゃない。
This is the font. The font
みんな
here.
誰か。
ちょっと待って。We have to
カ
test.
タカナの方ちょっとさ、見とかないとさ。
We have to test here.
うん、
site. Site doesn't show up for 9 years. There it is. It looks like an O. Interesting. And O also just looks like, there's the little sweeping up in the sai one.
なるほど。
なるほどね。The font here is pretty bad. This might be like a Chinese font.
ちょっと待って。
はい
跳ねてるのがあるのが漢
正し
字。
い。So
OK。
everyone is correct at the moment.
はい。じゃあ行き
Nobody's
ます。
being tricky.
レイジーウェブ1番、アンドレス2番、CBQ3 番、カムトゥジャパンダン4番、ミヨキヨ5番。はい、チョコレートオールドフレンドさんを飛ばしまして、
ここ。
はい、モンタナマーゴ6番。
Nice. Lazy Weber, that is correct.
バリさん。
バリさんね。
7番。ゴシナマケグマ8番です。いいね。
Nice job. Okay, so
みんな
yes.
O の人、カムトゥジャパン以外の O の人います？
This is the kanji that we would have expected to show up in the font, but for some reason the font in the chat is pretty weird. It's genius, and these are the parts. All right. Part 2 of the quiz is read the kanji part 1. We're going to have some of the words that we just learned, and we're going to jump right into it. There's another one. Let's see if you can remember how to write that word. So you need to give us the reading of this one. Give it to us in hiragana, please. バナナ全部欲しいと言ったこそ。Bing bong.
いいですね。
Andres, you're in first place with Come to Japan Dan in second. Not quite. Mio, Kyo, you're in third place with Non-Typical in fourth. Montana Margot in fifth. Rick in sixth. Hello Chocolate My Old Friend in seventh. And CB Cure in eighth. Goshi, you're in ninth place. Nice job. All right, that is indeed how you read this word. It is
丸
maru, and it's the symbol this or the mark that indicates that something is good or correct. Yuki's going to give us the next one.
はい。
Right, we were supposed to actually do
そ
the
うだ、
sentence.
これだ。
はい。
テストでをもらった。
でもいいよ、もうみんな答えた。
テストで丸をもらった。
はい、maru. All right, so this is the word, and this is the sentence.
はい。ここからを見たい。ここからを見たい。
Have a good one, Lazy Werebear. Good to have you here.
ありがとうございます。
はい、お願いします。
はい。いいですね。アンドレス1番。いいですね。カムトゥジャパンダン2番。ノンティノンティ3番。ミヨキヨ4番。ゴシナマケグマ5番。CBQ 6番。ヘロチョコレートマイオールドフレンド7番。リック8番。
おやすみ。to ゴシね。
そうだね。
はい、that is correct.
違う。レジベアに行ってんだよね。
Lazy Werebear か。Lazy Werebear か。
2に行ってんだよ
They're
ね。
both bears, so I always get confused.
はい。
はい。
ノンティさんは音読みも教えてくれてます。
はい。Okay. So the word here is
ここから星を見たい。
はい。Our next one is going to be this word, and here's the sentence.
で、お弁当を食べましょうか。で、お弁当を食べましょうか。
Oh. But you got to give us the full word, Dan. You almost got your first banana on this one, but not quite. Non-typical is in first place with Miyokio in second. Hello, Chocolate Mile Friend in third. Andres in fourth. Josh Toohill in fifth place. And Rick in sixth. Goshi, Five Toes Sloth Bear, is in seventh place with Come to Japan Dan, you got there in eighth. And Montana Margo, that is how you read the kanji, but the full word is this. It's highlighted right there. The whole word we need there. That's very close, CB Kerr. Montana Margo, you got ninth place, I believe, there. Excellent job. All right. Ohara is something different, probably.
惜しい
Very close, though. All right, nice job. We'll see the full sentence here for ourselves.
野原でお弁当を食べましょうか
All right.
野原です
All right, that is the name of this one. Ohara. Yeah, not that one either.
おならで
Hi. Onara is ohe. Hi. Here's the next word. You can type it with your own age if you want, or an age of anything. It's a little bit difficult to type it with this little thingy there. The sentence is...
あなたは何ですかあなたは何ですか
Hi. People are fast on this one.
はい。いいですね。カブトゥジャパンダン1番。Hello Chocolate My Old Friend 2番。ノンティ3番。アンドレス4番。ミヨキヨ5番。CBQ は6番。リック、7番。ジョッシュ、ちょっと待って、本当に合ってる。1、2、3、4、5、6、7。合ってる。ジョッシュトゥヒル。
ジョッシュだけでいいと思いますよ。
ジョッシュさん8番、アンドレス OK でしょ。モンタナマーゴ OK ですね。
ナイス。
で
もそれ
9番、
はいはい、9番ね。ちょっと待って、チェックしたいことがあります。野原はちゃんとあげてないか。Non-typical, you got a banana there. I forgot to give you one. Hold on. Non-typical banana. Not typical banana. OK.
ゴシナマケグマ19番かな。
10ですね。
10番。失礼しました。ゴシナマケグマ10番です。
はい。Excellent job. Let's see the actual full sentence.
ちょっと待って、アンドレス OK でね。はい。はい。あなたは何歳ですか？いい？あなたは何歳ですか？
はい。And our last word here is this one. And here is the sentence.
くて長い犬。くて長い犬。
Right. To answer your question, non-typical, using either kanji is perfectly fine. It's just that at this level, using the complicated one is usually not what's done. Hi, first place. Ore? Ore da yo ne? Hi, Come to Japan is in first place with Andres in second. Rick, Bud, or just Rick. That is... そうだね。
惜しい。
Very close. そっか。
これさ、カンジゲーションする？
They don't have to, they can just give the actual base word. They don't have to conjugate it. Very close, Rick Bud. Very close. Miyokio, you're in third place there with the full conjugation. Five Toes Sloth Bear, yes, that is correct. You're in fourth place. And Montana Margo, that is also correct. You're in fifth place. Excellent job. Okay, the banana goes to Come to Japan Dan.
リックはミススペルドと言っている。
So just a small misspelling there, ne?
惜しい。
Let's go ahead and see the full word we've got.
細くて長い犬。
All right, a thin, long dog. All right. That's the end of the first quiz here. Is there an age when kids stop using sai? Whenever they learn the next kanji, which I believe, let's find out. We can check really, really quickly. Sai, toshi. And that is yonkyu. So that means they would be chugakusei. They'd be junior high schoolers. So junior high school second year is when they finally learn the kanji, the actual kanji for years old. So until then, they'd be using this one. So all of elementary school will be this one. Pretty much. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So first year of junior high school, they learn the quote correct one. Ne? Hai. Is there an age when kids stop using? Yeah, okay. とても早いです. Yeah, everyone's very, very fast. Super fast. A lot of people actually go out of the way to speed up the live stream. So you can do like 1 times 5 or 2 times 0 speed. And that gets you up to the true live version. That gets people really fast. Also, some people are just really, really fast typers. So.
Hi.
All right. We're going to go ahead and jump into the next part of the lesson. There's 5 kanji and words left to go for today. Let's go ahead and see this one. This one, we've got this little right arm up top holding on to a moon or a piece of meat. In this case, it's actually a piece of meat. So this guy has a piece of meat in his right hand. He has it, which is what this actually means. The kanji itself, we're going to learn as exist. The words that it's used or is a part of also mean exist, but exist is often used in Japanese to mean to have something. So that makes sense. He has a piece of meat in his right hand. It exists. Let's go ahead and take a look at the details for this one. The radical, the main radical, is the moon part, which is surprisingly based on meat. But anyway, the official radical is moon. And then all of the parts are the right hand and the moon. And there are 6 strokes. So let's go ahead and see how Yuki rates that. Onegai shimasu.
はーい。はい、書きました。あ、なんか左にまた寄ってる。ちょっと真ん中に行くね。はい。じゃあブレイクダウンしていきたいと思います。ファーストストロークは1番ね。は、右と同じようにこののの払いから書きます。ここは払い。で、ここがチッときて、ここね。で、2番目にこの1のロング、ナイス&ロングの1でお願いします。右と同じ書き方かな、ここのが来て、2番目に1が来ると。で、このフォントは結構ここがね、くっついてるんですけど、くっつけなくてもいいと思っています。私くっつけてないと思う。うん、ちなみにこれは私のユキのユっていう感じなんですけど、うん、くっつけなくて全然大丈夫です。で、普通のノーマルペンで書くときはここ3番目のストローク縦棒のここの月の1画目ですね。ここは月だからここ払いたいんだけど、なんと止めます。カリグラフィーの時は払います。で、これ月と同じようにこの2画目ここが下がってきて、ここ羽ね。で、1、2と中に横を書いて終わりです。
はい。So breaking that down quickly for those of you watching on stream, this is actually the kanji that is used for the first kanji in Yuki's name. So her name, if it were in English, would be to have hope. Her first stroke starts on the right and it's haraied down, so it's swept out to the left. This is just like the kanji for right. You start on the right for the kanji for right, so you pull that down, sweep it out, and then you have a one stroke that's kimochi up to the right. And then in fonts, as you can see here, they're quite connected. But as you can see in the document here, they're not actually necessarily connected. And when writing in handwriting and in calligraphy, they're usually probably not connected. So you don't have to worry about connecting this up to the right side here. It's much easier to balance, in fact, if you don't connect it. So the first stroke in moon, moon is usually swept out to the left, right? So you probably want to do that. In calligraphy, it is. But in handwriting, general handwriting, and like the way kids learn it at first, it's tomed, it's stopped on the bottom, and then your second stroke in moon, as usual, is haneru'd up to the left. It's sliced up to the left, and then you've got your last two strokes. So that's how you write this one.
Hi.
Hi. Jumping into our story, we have, you are in a completely blank room. In your right hand, you are holding a slab of meat that looks like the moon for some reason. You're certain that you and the meat exist, but you can't be sure of anything else. Remember, you're in a completely blank room. There's nothing there. All you've got in your right hand is a piece of meat that looks like the moon. That's all you know that exists. You're not sure of anything else. So it's a start of a weird movie. Very weird movie indeed. Interesting fact, let's just jumping back over to the details. I have listed here as the radical being moon. And in most kanji dictionaries, it will be listed this way. But in the more historical dictionaries, the ones that like to be very, very accurate, you will sometimes see the radical listed as meat, niku. And that's because technically this is the part for meat. Maybe that's even why this is not haned, but instead tomed. It could be. We'll see. Anyway, jumping over to the history, we'll see here that we have pretty much the same parts. We've got a right hand here in both the Bronze Age or the bronze versions, and in the big seal and small seal. And then we've got a meat or a piece of moon over on the left. That's the interesting part. Right hand used to always be written on the right, which was much easier. But nowadays it's on the left, which can be very confusing.
ちょっと私のイマジネーションの力が足りてないかもしれません。
Yuki's imagination isn't good enough for seeing the meaning here in this kanji. I think it's pretty. How should you put it? It's pretty logical. Because another meaning you could have for exist is to have something existing in your possession, which is just holding something in your right hand, and they just happen to choose meat. So I can kind of see it. Let's go ahead and jump into the words for this. We have
ある。
right? Aru means to be or to exist or to live, and it can also mean to have. So there are two possible things you can have for this word. By the way, there are multiple kanji that can be used for the word aru. This is just one. And this particular kanji being used for aru generally uses the to have meaning. This is usually for to have, whereas the other kanji usually is more used in terms of existence. So that's something to keep in mind.
ある。
Right? Aru is a godan verb, and it's intransitive, so it does not require or it can't use a direct object. Right? You're going to use the ga particle with this one more often. Right? That is the main thing to worry about with this. Here is a sentence.
教科書ある？貸して。教科書ある？貸して。
So if we break it down, we have kyokasho. There's a bunch of kanji for that we're going to learn later in this series, actually, the N4 series, and that means textbook, aru. So this is the do you have? Do you have aru? That's why this kanji is being used. Sometimes the aru in particular is usually written using just hiragana. You're just going to see the a and the ru usually. But sometimes you'll use the kanji when you want to be very specific about which sort of meaning you're aiming at with aru. In this situation, we're using the to have aru, and that is kyokasho aru. Do you have a textbook? And that is kashite, which is lend it to me, please. It's a lending request. Lend request. Okay, so there's a few questions in chat I noticed. Is there an age when kids stop using sai? Okay, I already answered that. Totemo hayai. Okay. Yubi no seida. I can see this kanji story inside a text adventure game. Yeah, that'd be cool. They dropped their bucket. That is kind of what it looks like. And they do look like runes because originally that's essentially what they were. That's essentially what kanji were back in the day. They were runes and divination runes, as I talked about in the Oracle Bones section of the history in the last live stream. Yeah, so make sure, guys, you practice the words that we pop up here on stream by typing them into the chat. You can type aru to get this one to pop up. You may get another version of aru to pop up as well. You can feel free to share that in the chat if you'd like. All right.
ことがある is the little phrase I hear in my head with ある。
Yes, yes. Of course, that makes sense. Does the experience exist for you? Or do you have the experience of doing something? ことがある。Sushi を食べたことがある? Have you had the experience of eating sushi? Watching right now inspired me to make some flashcards on note cards. Nice, yeah. Writing them out by hand can be great for practice. Some physical flashcards. Banana ga arimasen ka? So yeah, so because it's an intransitive verb, it doesn't take a direct object. So the thing exists, the banana exists. So we need a subject to exist. So banana ga arimasen. Don't you have a banana? Ario, says Rick. Nice. All right.
そのリクはきっと寿司食べたことがありますか
そういうことね。
に対
He's
し
eaten
て
sushi ね。
そうそう、多分ね。
I thought he had a banana, but he's had the experience of eating sushi. Okay,
ま
that
あ、
makes
まあ、オ
more
ル
sense.
タナティブアンサーです。
そう。寿司のことね。はい。Okay. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next kanji. This one, once again, we're getting a little bit more complicated here, but it's still using only parts that we've learned in the N5. So we haven't learned any new parts yet in this series for the N4. It's all just N5 parts combined into new kanji. In this one, we have gold and we have good. Gold is good, apparently. But another meaning of gold is metal. So metal is good, which is a good thing because this one doesn't mean gold, it means silver.
Hi.
Right? So this metal that is good is silver. Apparently, silver is the good metal. And this is the way you write it. There are 14 strokes, and the parts are, as I just mentioned, metal or gold and good. The main part is logically good, or not good, I'm sorry. The main part is logically metal or gold. And the way you write it will be shown to us by Yuki.
はい。
ちょっとトイレ行ってくるね。
了解です。では、銀書いていきたいと思います。どうでしょうか。いや、結構いい感じじゃない結構いい感じじゃないとか言って。はい。ブレイクダウンしていきたいと思います。まずこの金っていう漢字は、N5 の時にやりました。で、ちょっと待ってね。N5 にやったこの金っていう漢字は、ここフルサイズで書くと一番の特徴的な部分はここがフルサイズの時には長くてナイス&ロングの1で最後終わるんだけど、この銀とかこのメタル辺の漢字になる時にはこの金の一番下のストロークは右上に払いになります。いいかな。ここが一番特徴的な部分になりますね。で、もう一個この行くとかの木偏の時にもやったんですけど、ここね、このフルサイズのところ。今ここ上に払いやったじゃない？ここ2番目の金のこの人の冠のところなんですけど、ここも短くしてここが止めになります。いいかな？ここがファーストストロークで、ここは金と同じ払いで、2画目ここは最後まで右払いをせずに止めて、で漢字金と同じようにここまでは OK だね。ここが点で、ここが払いで、最後は1がロングに来るところがここが下から、右上にこの払いで上がってくるのが金の辺になります。でこっち側の良いという感じなんですけど、これね、食べると良いでも N5 の漢字でやったんだけど、ここにね点は来ません。ここにはねノー点とか言ってノードットがはいon the top ですね。で1234567 でしょ。ここ9番目のストロークはこっちからだね。これが9番目で、 こがこう来てから、ここはね結構ちょっと長めに作って大きめ、この金よりもちょっとだけ大きく書いた方が漢字的にはかっこよくなります。でここはしっかり跳ねて、跳ねで、ここがねチッチッチッチッチッチッチッチッチッチッってこういう感じだと思うんだよね、こうだね。ここから入って、ここが払いになってからチッチッチッチッチッチッチッチッチッチッチッ、こういう感じでね戻ってくるの、くるくるくるくるって感じなんだけど、ここから今度長く右払いで、ここが最後払いになります。いいね、こうだよね、こういう感じだね、はい、どうでしょうか。
はい。いいですよ。All right, so breaking down the parts that Yuki just told to all you guys quickly. Remember, on the stream cuts of these, we won't need my explanation because we'll have the subtitles for those of you who aren't understanding what she said yet. The first stroke here is a harai, just like you'd expect, with a metal on the left or a gold part. The second stroke is a little bit different than the actual kanji for gold. In the actual kanji for gold, the top part is haraied out to the left, out to the right. But because this is on the left and we need to keep it squeezed over on the left, always a little bit smaller than the part on the right, we stop, we tomit the second stroke here. Then everything is written the normal way you would for gold until the bottom stroke, the final stroke in gold. Instead of making that nice and long over to here like a 1, we actually slice that up and harai it to the right. This keeps it nice and condensed on the left and allows us to move smoothly up into the first stroke in the good part. This is called the good part. It's not the actual kanji for good. Yuki wanted to mention that the actual kanji for good has a dot on top, but the main part, the radical in good, is this part without the dot. So this is only referred to as the good part because it's not really used in anything else. Then we have this stroke. That's the first stroke. 1, 2, 3. The third stroke.
3は4、右。2, 3.
1, 2, 3. So the fourth stroke. The fourth stroke is quite long. So bring it down below gold and then slice it up to the right. Hane. So it's sliced up to the right. And then the fifth stroke is a no. So it's haraid. And then we go, first we come here, harai it, and then around to our migi haraid stroke. So it's a backwards no here that is haraid out to the right. So those are the main things to be aware of when you are writing this kanji. Thank you very much, Yuki.
Hi.
Hi. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the story for this one. The story is, imagine that it's the year 2000 and you're in a video game store. You see Pokemon Gold on the shelf. Next to it is Pokemon Silver. And you know and feel that it is good. So you buy that one. はい。はい。
チャットで。
まだチャットしないっすよ。
失礼しました。
はい。Okay, so the history for this one is not too complicated. I could only find the small seal version of this, which is essentially identical. It is a gold piece on the left along with the part for good on the right. Nothing too special, except that it looks like a giant eye on 2 legs looking at all the gold on the left, coming to pick it up because the eye aliens like to take all our gold back to their planet. That's why we like it so much, apparently. Whatever. Anyway, moving on to our first word for the kanji for silver. That would be this one.
銀行。銀行。
はい。Ginko means bank. So it means silver goes. Silver goes to the bank. Ginko. The pitch accent for this one is heiban, so it's
銀行。銀行。
And it is a noun, obviously. It means bank. So a sentence we're going to use bank in is
お金がないから銀行に行かなきゃ。お金がないから銀行に行かなきゃ。
All right, breaking it down. Okane is money. Ga, that money is the subject of nai. So not exist. Nai, by the way, is the negative of aru, which we just learned earlier. So okane ga nai means money not exists, or I don't have money. Kara, therefore, ginko ni, so bank ni, bank is the target of ikanakya. must go. So ikanakia is a shortened version of ikanakereba naranai or ikanakereba ikenai or ikanakia ikenai. You can just cut out that ikenai on the end and leave ikanakia because it's understood as must. So I must go to the bank. Money subject not exist, therefore bank target go must. Very obvious, eh?
Hi.
All right, let's jump into chat. We got a bunch of omedetos. So, someone, wait a second, let's see. Thank you, Andy Sensei. You helped me achieve 105 out of 180 for my JLPT. Congratulations,
Yay!
Cha-cha Okaedi. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're still here. Wanted to say congratulations in person. Nice. Which level did you take? N5. I was really surprised by the score. Omedetou gozaimasu. Congratulations.
おめでとうござい
Nice job.
ます。
Alex says, I would buy Pokemon Gold. That is the one I had as a kid. Yuki also Pokemon Gold, eh?
はい。
I was Silver. Pokemon Silver. I've never played the DS versions. I have them. I have both. Eventually, Yuki and I want to play them both when we have time, which we don't have any of. But eventually, I'd like to play those on DS because they look quite fun. Silver was my first Pokemon game, says Josh Toohill. My first was Yellow. Yuki no saisho no wa dore datta ake?
金だと思うんだけど。
Your first one was gold, and your sister was yellow.
そう。
So you were
ピカチュウ
gold and your
ね
sister was Pikachu. Yellow, okay. Mine was yellow, and then I played a little bit of red before my parents took my DS, and then, or not my DS, my Game Boy. And then when I got my Game Boy back a few years later, I got silver. The days where you could actually go to a game store. Yes, indeed. The only Pokemon game I played is Soul Silver. I can confirm it's good.
間違えた。ピカチュウじゃないよね。ピカチュウだよね。
Pikachu, ne?
日本語バージョン。
I love Ginkgo as a word. Silver goes. Yes, silver goes to the bank. Sensei, thank you so much for your videos. I watch it often. You help me achieve what seems impossible. Passing the JLPT. ありがとう。どういたしまして。よかったです。
おめでとうござい
おめでとうござい
ま。
ますす。The Pokewalker was fun. I never had that. Silver was also my first. おめでとうございます is Goshi. ちょっと水飲む？
あ、大丈夫です。ありがとうございます。In Spanish, we use the word plata for money, so make much more sense って書いてある。plata.
Platter. Plata. I see.
おー。
All right.
プラタってどういう、
お金ってことでしょ？
あ、お金か。
Pokewalker was Soul Silver, Heart Gold, so if you hadn't played those, it makes sense. Oh, fair enough. Okay. Plata means silver. I see. Oh, so it connects well. Okay. That makes sense. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our next kanji. Our next kanji we learned as a part in N5 because it was a part in many of the kanji we learned, but not really necessary for any of the words you learn in N5. Finally, when we get to N4, it's still not really a part that kanji that you would need, but it is a kanken level 9 kanji. So we popped it in here for you guys to learn along the way. It's very simple. It's just I. No. E. It's e. It's the katakana for e. No, it's not that either. It means construction. And it's a kanji. I like to think of it looking like an I-beam. You know, I-beams, like those giant metal beams that are used to build steel structures. That's what it looks like to me. So it makes sense that it means construction. Looked at from like the side, right? The beam is laid down and you're looking at it from the side or from the end of the I-beam. Here's how you write it. It's its own part. It's its own radical. There are 3 strokes. They're not too complicated. Let's have Yuki
はーい。
give us a look.
書いていきたいと思います。
Finally, one I can write, says non-typical.
「なんかカタカナ「え」との違いが分かりません私どうだろうね。「え」の方がもっとこういうなんていうのフレックスストロークがないかも。もっとストレートストロークで書いてるかも。そのぐらいかな。ちなみに全部止めです。以上です。
Right. So she doesn't know what the difference really is between the katakana, and the kanji for construction. It could be that this one isn't like sort of domed up like this kanji is. I believe that the base kanji for is this. So that pretty much explains why it is the way that it is. There's not too much to pay attention to for this one. I'm pretty sure you can all already write it. So congratulations. You've got one down. All right. So the story for this one is I-beams are very important for construction. They're very important for construction. And that's what I see here. And apparently chat sees that as well. So that's great. Who else in chat saw that? Josh Truehill says, I-beam was my thought as soon as you said construction. So, hey, we're on the same page, eh? Let's go ahead and take a look at the history for this one.
Oh.
It has not changed much. Although the ancient one has got wings. I don't know why.
かっこいいですね。
Ancient and Big Seal are both pretty cool looking.
ビッグシールはたまにそういう会社の名前そういう風に書いてる人が
Some company names use this one have like a stylish version of their koji or whatever. I could see that. I've never seen this one, but people should start using this one because this one's pretty cool.
エンシェントでは一体何が起きていたんでしょうか
I don't know. An interesting point about ancient kanji. I mentioned this in the last stream, but just to bring it back up. The difference between all these other ones. Ancient kanji are generally from around the same time span as Big Seal and Bronze, but they're usually brought up as alternatives. They're often shown as alternatives because that can sort of bridge the gap between the bronze versions, the ones that were carved in bronze, and the small seal versions. Although these ones aren't very much different. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at a word for this.
工学
Right. 工学 means engineering. I know there's a lot of engineers here in the ToKini Andy community.
Hi.
So you may have gone to a 工学 program in your school. The pitch accent for 工学 is heibanso.
工学
Right? It is obviously a noun. So, 工学. Let's go ahead and take a look at a sentence.
大学で工学を勉強している大学で工学を勉強している
Right. So breaking it down, we have 大学で. So 大学 is university, and it's via university. 工学 engineering, that's the direct object of 勉強している. So I'm studying. 勉強している, studying. Oh, that pops up off screen. Sorry, guys. But it's just studying or learning in school. University via engineering object, studying, doing am. That's it. 工学. All right, nice. I love the big seal one, says Alex. Yeah, that one was pretty cool, eh? Oh, yeah, the big seal. It looks like a jagged lightning bolt or something. It'd be a good logo for a construction company. Even if our buildings get hit with lightning, they'll be okay.
いいですね
ToKini Construction. Daiku, yes, that's carpenter. Big construction carpenter. Very good. Okay, power is getting shut off. See you later. See you later, Kanji Dan. Have a good one. I hope that your power construction goes quickly.
あら停電になっちゃったの
になるらしい。
おー
工事がある. So this kanji combined with the kanji for koto, for thing, becomes construction. Chaz Hoosier's college had a famous kogakubu, which is construction department. I just had
エンジニアリングじゃないの
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm the engineering department, of course. Faraz says, just had to drop in and say, arigatou gozaimasu, passed the JLPT N4, and it's largely thanks to you two. Excellent job, Faraz. Good job. We couldn't take the test for you, so that's all on you. Good job. All right, I'm glad we could help you along the way, though. All right. Jumping into our next.
早く停電治るといいね
そうですね。まあ、わざわざ、あら。
私たちは停電じゃないです。
停電じゃないです。I just pressed a weird button. Oh, we're in the dark. All right. Speaking of which, this was not an accident that I went into the dark like this, but this kanji means
darkness.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
あ、チョコレートだ。
I'm here to talk to you again. Okay, let's turn the lights back on. Yeah, I accidentally pressed the button for turning a light off, and that gave me the idea to do that just now. I never would have even thought of that. Thank you, accident. All right, the details for darkness are that the main radical is the sun. Because without the sun, you'd have darkness. We have the parts sun and sound. Sun and sound are what gives us darkness. And there are 13 strokes. So So let's go ahead and take a look at those 13 strokes with Yuki.
はい。では書いていきたいと思います。もう一回書いた方がいい？
もう一回書いた方がいい。
もう一回書いた方がいい？
ビデオを作るときにはね、一回カットせずやった方がいいから。はい。Technical difficulties. We're going to do that one more time, everyone.
もう一回だということなんで、もう一回やり直します。
なんで音がついてるんだろうね。We'll talk about that in a moment.
はい、どうでしょうか。よいしょ。じゃあ、ブレイキングダウンしていきたいと思います。昨日もなんかこのさ、皮変の感じやったよね。なんだったっけ、これ。左が、あ、わかった。晴れるだ。そうだね。この、この左側の日は、昨日の晴れると同じように、昨日の晴れるじゃないね。前回のレッスン1でやった晴れるっていう感じと同じように、少しだけ、この、キュッて、こういうのはなんていうのかな。スリムに書きます。スリム？晴れるはこっちでしたね。はい。で、今回はちょっとダークネス暗めなので、青ではなく音です。特にないか。火の方は。音も、N5 の漢字でカバーしたんですけど、上がね、これ立つっていう感じだね。ここのここ 5からか。ここが 5th ストロークなので、5番目の角から1、2でしょ。で、ここか。ここが点で少し内側に入る。この7番目ですね。で、8番目は右からちょっとシュッと払ってのになります。これは払いのストロークだね。で、ここはちょっと長めに書いた方がバランス取りやすいと思います。ここは透明。で、また火が出るんだけど、こっちの右側の音の、このタッツの下の音っていう感じのこっちの火の方が、ちょっとこれに対して大きめに書いた方が良いかなと思います。それなんか、ティップとして書けるものがない。
大丈夫。
いい？じゃあ説明してもらってお願いします。
はい。Just like in the kanji we learned in lesson 1 for clear up, you want your sun on the left to be nice and squeezed together, squished together, as Yuki put slim. Then we've got stand on the right in our sound part. The first part in sound is stand, fifth stroke, second stroke, sixth stroke, and then the seventh stroke is sort of angled in to the right a little bit, like that. And then your eighth stroke is a haraid no. So it's angled in to the left a little bit because it's a no. Then to get your balance just right, you want to make the bottom stroke in stand quite long and then stop it on the end. And then your sun below in the sound kanji needs to be a little bit bigger than your sound on the left. And by bigger, we mean wider. So it's wider than the one on the left, sort of wide and stumpy. But this whole part, of course, the main part is always a bit bigger than the part on the left. So let's go ahead and jump into our story. All right, our story for this one, you want to imagine that you see the sun implode, disappearing into a black sky. All becomes darkness, and there's nothing left but sound. Okay, enough of that. The history of this one, it's pretty simple. We only were able to get the small seal version of the history. Nothing is quite different except that there's a person sticking out of the sun below, making sound with the symbols on their head. That is what's happening with this dude. Not much to say for this one, eh? Someone asked why sound is part of the kanji. And this is something I used to bring up in the other streams and I've forgotten to do for the history for all the other kanji in this one. So I'm sorry about that. I'm going to tell you right now. So sun is the main part of darkness. And that's probably because without the sun, everything would be in darkness. And the sound part on the right, despite how we used it in our stories, was only used to indicate the Chinese reading of this kanji. So whatever the Chinese reading was at the time for this kanji was indicated by sound on the right, and that remains until today. Okay, so jumping into the first word, we have
暗い
kurai means dark, gloomy, murky, and it can be used for a gloomy feeling as well. Today I feel kurai. The pitch is like, oh, it's not what I thought it was.
暗いだと思った？
暗いだと思ってたんだけど、確かに暗い。
暗い。
平板. Many E adjectives are up, down, but that's probably for longer ones. All right, the part of speech is an E adjective. It's an E adjective, so it's used to describe things. We have the only kanji being darkness. Let's use it in a sentence.
この部屋は暗いね。電気をつけましょう。この部屋は暗いね。電気をつけましょう。
All right, so this room, この部屋, this room, what? That's the topic of 暗いね. It's dark, isn't it? 電気を, so 電気 means electricity, but it can also be used to mean light. So 電気を, that's the direct object of つけましょう. So let's turn it on. So this room, topic dark, ね. Light をつけましょう. Let's turn it on. つけましょう. Right. There's our sentence. There's only one word left, guys. Just one word. Wow, that was fast. Much faster than the last stream. Oh my goodness, the last stream was 4 hours long. Today's already been 2.5 hours long. So there's still possibility that we could reach the 4-hour mark. But hopefully not. Chaz Hoosier says, my radicals can look like separate kanji when I'm writing horizontally. Someone asked, do Japanese people imagine a grid when they write? My balance is really bad. Yuki, I'll let Yuki answer that mostly. I've been using some older textbooks for like little kids before, and they all learn with the boxes and the grid in them. So they write kanji with the 4 little boxes within the big box. That's how they start learning. But they also start almost immediately using just the box without the grid too, to get practice without that. And then they, write without the box at all. But generally speaking, every kanji, when you write it, you want to sort of think about it as being in a little box. It helps you get the balance right. Really good. But when you draw a kanji, are you imagining a grid, Yuki? 書いてる時に。
この
grid は
grid ね。わかる。ボックスってことね。
こういうやつ。
あんまりもうやってないけど。
She doesn't anymore, but.
でも小学生の頃は、そのノート、漢字のノートはだいたいそのさ、なんていうの、サポート線みたいなのがついてるから、まっすぐ書けるようにそういうの。
In elementary school.
練習したからできるのかな?
All of their workbooks, or not their workbooks, their notebooks for practicing kanji, they have the supporting lines in the middle and the across, so like the little cross I just made. So, for 6 years they practice with those lines, so they get used to that, and then they stop thinking about it later on. When you're in junior high school and high school, I believe, it's just a box that you write them in. You don't have the supporting lines. So they probably don't think of it that way, but it's super helpful when you're learning to have those.
あとはね、その一つの漢字だけ、例えばさ、このなんていうの、このさ、チャズさんの問題、My radical can look like a separate kanji when I'm writing horizontally って言ってるじゃないですか。
So right now,
例えば、
暗い。
そうそう。例えばなんですけど。
Welcome, Explosive Zero.
この
部屋
は例えばなんだけどね、こういうふうに書くとこのさもうさ1個の大きさこの1個の大きさがさこのぐらいできてるのに、これがさ辺となんていうのこのメインのパートがそれぞれの大きさになっちゃうと、そのさバランスが悪くなりすぎちゃうから一つの漢字ずつに見えちゃう時が来ちゃう、だけどこの大きさにできるだけねみんなのそのサイズをはこうだよね。ね、こういう風にすればこの「こ」とこの「暗い」っていう漢字自体、ちょっと見えなくなっちゃったがその大体同じ大きさにかけてるから一つの漢字に見えやすい、こういうのはちょっと意識してもいいかなと思います。まあ難しいと思うんだけど、この1個大体同じぐらいのスペースずつに全ての文字を書ければ1個の漢字に見えるし、なんていうのラインも整ってるように見えるかな。
All right, so Yuki's tip here is that when you're writing, generally you're going to be writing in a sentence, right? If you're handwriting. So you want to try and instead of worrying too much about the part on the left and the part on the right, one thing that can really help you is to just think about trying to write the full kanji the exact same size as all of the other kana within your sentence. So in this case, like what would tend to happen is you'd write it this way, and then your kanji, each part of it would be exactly as big as as two kana, which becomes even a bigger issue because now they're both the same size as two characters. So that makes them look more like two different kanji. And then all of the things following it are smaller than that. So that if you just try and squeeze that whole thing into the space of one kana, you automatically get something that looks a little bit better. When you practice, using the grid can help a lot as well. You can pick up kanji practice books that have the grid to give you a better idea. I'm terrible with kanji, but that noto can help, ne? Hey Andy, this is my first stream. Welcome Explosive Zero. Not sure why that flipped to kana either. Yokoso, Bakuhatsu-san. Soだね. Hi everyone. I don't typically join the streams either, but I happened to see the video come up while having lunch. Welcome to the stream, Angelica's model.
Hi.
Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're having a good lunch.
ようこそ TNT さんと
TNT さんね。
アンジェリカさんだね。はい。ようこそ。
Hi. It's funny that enriched proud Arjun, welcome to the stream by the way, basically has the same story as I did. The sun is gone and you can only hear sounds in the darkness. Almost the same thing. That's funny. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the final kanji for this lesson. Thanks for hanging out to this point. There will be a quiz right after this to see if you remember everything we learned today. Some of you will, some of you won't. I might not. We'll see. The final kanji. Yeah. You know how this lesson has been cut up into all these different parts? We've got the lesson part 1 and then the quiz, and then we've got the lesson part 2 and then quiz 2, and then we cut the whole lesson up into 10 different kanji with all their parts. They're all cut up just like this kanji, which means cut, with this 7 part and the katana on the left, which makes it very easy to figure out the different parts. The main radical is katana, because obviously, right? You cut things up with a katana or with a knife. And then the other part is a 7. So for the kanji for cut, you're cutting things up into 7 different pieces. Or maybe you're using 7 katanas. 1 in each hand, 1 in your mouth, 1 in each feet. That would only be 5. I don't know what you're doing with the other 2. Maybe you're sticking them in your ears and spinning around. So 7 katanas to cut things up. And this is how you write it. Let's see what Yuki has for us.
はい、書いていきたいと思います。はい。こんな感じです。この7っていうところなんだけど、こっちが 1画目ね。こっちがファーストストロークです。こっち。1はここ止める。止め。で、この2番目のストロークなんだけど、こ こもこういう風に言って、ここで一応ね、ここも止めです。パソコンのそのタイピングした時とかに出るフォントのやつはこのそう跳ねてる、こういう風に7が跳ねてるんだけど、跳ねてるやつがあるんだけど、ハンドライティングやテストの時には多分これを書くと丸じゃなくなっちゃうような気がします、なのでここは跳ねずに、これは跳ねないで止めた方がいいです。で、前回レッスン1でやったら、これは刀、このなんだっけ、ボックスのそう力、この力と同じ、ここちょっと待ってね、ここがちょっと気持ちアップしてから内側にこういう風に戻ってから跳ねた方が、よりこのギュッと切るっていう一つの感じに収まっていい感じに見えるかなと思います。ここは跳ねです。で、最後ここが刀なので、刀と同じようにここを左払い、ここは払い、はい、こんな感じかな。これもね、さっきのチップと同じようにこのフル漢字を書いちゃうと、すごくこの刀がさ、こう超大きくなっちゃって、ちっちゃくね、この7を書いても七刀みたいな、七刀みたいに見えちゃうから、これはちょっと2つともスリムに書くと1つの漢字により見えてよくなるかなと思います。
Hey, okay, breaking down Yuki's parts quickly for all of you. Both of the first strokes in 7 are tome, they stop, despite, as we look over here, fonts often looking like they are haned or swept up to the right. In writing, it's always tome, just a nice straight line. The most important part to remember for katana on the right here is that you need to keep it pretty slim. Otherwise, like Yuki pointed out here, you're going to end up with 7 katanas instead of cut. So you want to keep both of them nice and slim. For 7, stopping both of these strokes instead of sweeping them out helps with that, and you keep it nice and small, sort of compact. Then you pull up here like in strength, and then you kind of come back in with the first stroke of katana and slice it up. And then your no stroke should be keeping it thin, sliced down below, swept down below the 7, helping us keep even more of a single kanji feel. All right, thank you, Yuki, very much. Let's go ahead and jump into the story for this kanji. Imagine that you're in the dirt yard outside of a dojo, standing in front of 7 crash test dummies. You're holding a katana. You slash 7 times at the dummies in front of you, leaving 7 distinct cuts. And that's the story. Remember, making your own stories is always better than using mine. You'll remember them much better. But the most important part is, as the first word in each of these stories says, imagine it. Really try to imagine it clearly and connect it to the kanji, and it will be easier for you to remember it in the future. Remember to include all the parts, 7 and katana in this case, and the meaning, of course, cut. Let's take a look at the history for this one. It has not changed. It is exactly the same. We've got 7 and a katana.
はい。
Nothing different.
結構いいですね。
ね。
この前の刀と同じ。
Yep. It's a cool one. This one looks like, I kind of could see this as the end of a katana blade after it's like swept through the air, like slicing through the air. This is the slice in the air, and this is the end of the blade, the tip of the blade cutting. I could see that. And this is the 7. This is the shape that it cut, the 7 shape in the crash test dummies.
なるほどね。
Ne? All right. Let's go ahead
動
and...
きが見えるってこと
So you
ですね。
can see the movement. You can see the movement right here. That's the movement through the sky as the tip of the blade, the katana blade goes. And this is the cuts it made. All right, the word we're going to learn for this one is a verb. It is...
切る。切る。
It means to cut or to cut through something. The pitch is...
切る。切る。
kiru. You start up and you go down. And it is a godan verb. and it's transitive, which means it requires a direct object. You must cut something. You don't just cut. Well, there is an English verb for that, but that's not what this is. So you need a thing that you cut in Japanese, and it's a godan verb, which means, it takes on the rules of kirimasu, not kimasu. That's a different verb. So you have to be careful with this. I often mix up the verb for wear, kiru, and cut, kiru, because one is a godan verb, one is an ichidan verb, and they conjugate differently. But that's important to remember. This is godan verb, to cut. Let's go ahead and see it used in a sentence.
髪の毛を切りに行ってもいい? 髪の毛を切りに行ってもいい?
So, 髪の毛, we learned this in the last lesson. It means hair of the head, human hair of the head. Whoa, that's the direct object that we're cutting. 切りに行ってもいい. So, 行ってもいい means, is it okay to do, or is it good to do? And しに行く is a verb in its mas stem, plus に行く is go to do that thing. So this is it okay if I go to cut, direct object, hair? Hair of the head object, cut, go to, even if good? Something like that. And that's it. That is the final word for this lesson, which means it's time for part 2 of the quiz. We'll get to that in a moment after we take a look at chat. It looks like a bunch of people have gotten their JLPT results, and they have passed. Congratulations.
Yay! おめでとうございます。
Technical gamer, congrats. Cleared my N5 today. Just got the result. Love from India. Good job.
おめでとうございます。
Got mine in Vancouver as well, says Fraz.
Wow!
Hey, Andy-san, I failed my N4, got results today. 33 out of 120 in grammar, vocab, and reading. 3260 in listening. Should I go for N3? I didn't study for N4, but I'm locked in for N3. So you already applied for it, or you're really excited to go do it. If you're excited to go do it, you've got months. So you just have to work really, really hard. That's all. I would just do it. Why not? You'd probably need to study a bit. You'd want to get some vocabulary going somewhere and probably read a bit, watch a bit. There's a lot more. N3 is a bit more intense than the N4. You're going to have a bit more of an understanding of some kanji, and you need a pretty broad vocabulary. My sense is that at an N3 level, you can finally have a decent conversation, right? That's what it feels like. It feels like you've got enough vocabulary, enough grammar to follow what other people are saying and keep up with saying basically what you want to say. Not perfectly, but you can finally sort of say what you want to say. So you'll have to go hard, but might as well. Why not? Amazing video. Just want you to know I passed JFT A2 test because of your JLPT N5 kanji video. That's excellent.
Whoa.
Excellent job, Alvin. Thank you so much from Indonesia. Nice. That's super cool. Didn't pass. I will try harder next time. You'll get there. You'll get there.
ねえ。
Oyasumi, Andres. Thanks for hanging out.
お
I just registered for the
おやすみなさい。
N4 in December today. I failed N4 last year, and I'm hoping to pass it this year. I hope you do too. Hopefully we can be there with you. This series, I think, can help.
ねえ。みんな頑張ってるね。いや、本当使ってくれてありがとうございます。すごい。Thank you so much, Andy さん。I've started studying 8 to 10 hours a day now.
You'll get there then, for sure. If you're studying that hard,
偉い。
you'll be fine. That's more than I studied.
頑張りましょう。
Don't burn yourself out, that's all. As long as you're having fun with it and doing things you enjoy by studying, it's possible. I wish you luck. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the quiz. For the first part of the quiz, we put an English word, that's the meaning of the last 5 kanji we just learned, and you have to write the kanji in chat. If you're watching this on the replay, you just write it on a piece of paper, pause the video, write it on a piece of paper, or trace it on your hand, and that'll be the first part of the quiz. So let's go ahead and jump into the first word. We'll have Yuki read out the names for whoever got this one first. Let's go ahead and see. It is silver. Silver is the first kanji we want you to write out in chat. You can write the word we taught you to get the kanji and then just delete the unnecessary kanji if you want. Alvin, your JLPT N5 kanji video is the best kanji video out there. Do you plan to make a similar video for the N4? I do indeed. This is going to be where it starts. Hey.
はい。 いいですね。N4 も頑張りましょうね。
はい。
みよきよさん、1番。いいですね。リック、2番。ジョッシュ。これは OK にしていいのでしょうか？
ダメ？こっち？
ワードだから、そう、ジョシュ・チューヒルさん。
あ、こっちね。
そう。
大丈夫。大丈夫。
あ、OK。
It's okay. It's okay, Josh.
じゃあ、ジョッシュ3番ね。で、Hello Chocolate My Old Friend は4番。ごしなまけぐま5番。Non Typical は6番。チャーズ7番。7番。うん、ジョッシュ OK。はい。
はい。
い
Great
いで
job.
すね。
Good job on first place, Miyokiyo. Let's go ahead and see. This is the first kanji. It was indeed silver. These are the details. All right. Next one is mine, and it's construction. This one's not too hard. Let's see who's going to be first.
Construction っていうワード自体は難しいよね。
英語？
そう、英語。
そうだね。Construction. It's a bit long. A lot of syllables. Non-typical, you're in first place with Rick in second. Let's get non-typical's banana for them there. There you go. Nice job. Goshi, 5 sloth bear, you're in third place with Kiyo in fourth place. I would have no idea if you were writing the katakana e or the kanji for coal. I wouldn't know. So I don't even know if they look different in font. Sergio, great job. Let's see. What would A look like?
多分ね、
I bet
絵
it's
の方が
identical.
ちょっと小さい。うん。
This one, eh? And koji. I have to write the full word. Yeah. A is smaller, eh? Josh, you're in 1, 2, 3, 4.
このジョシュは
Did Josh write A? Josh wrote the A. Oh, sneaky. Hello, Chocolate, my old friend. You're in 6th place.
じゃない
Non-typical is also A じゃない
Hello Chocolate My Old Friend じゃない
Hello, Chocolate, my old friend もA? Oi. There you go. You still got 6th place. Nice job. Trying to get away with one there, everyone. There it is. That's the first one.
スニーキーですね。
To write this one out, you would have had to write out 工学 or 工事。工事だよね。Sneaky.
ね、スニーキーだよ、ほんと。
There are the details for this one. Pretty straightforward. The next word is darkness. Let's see who gets this one first.
みんなこのさ、こうは合ってるよね。
合ってると思うよ、それ以外。はい。
偉いね。
First place, Yuki お願いします。
はい。ジョシュ1番、チャーズ2番、リック3番、ミヨキオ4番、フィラブ、
The real blank?
The real blank か。はい、失礼しました。4番。
5ですね。
間違えちゃった。1、2、3、4。本当だ。The real blank さんは5番。Hello Chocolate My Old Friend 6番。アンジェリカ、7番。セジオ。ダニュー。合ってる？
First だけでいいと思いますよ。
はい、ソジオさん。8番。ジェフ9番。
はい、excellent job. First place goes to Josh there. Nice.
みんなユニークな名前ですね。
Darkness. There's the details for you, just in case. Our next one is cut. This will be mine. Cut. Let's see who's going to get the cut. Who's going to make the cut on this one? It's a different cut. That's a different cut. Oh, no, it's the same cut. But I don't think we use that word. Fraz, you got first place. Nice job. You get the first banana, the first Nattoku banana. Fraz 66. I believe that's your first one. Rick, you're in second place with Chaz in third. Josh in, that is how you read the word, but we need the kanji from you, Josh. Non-typical 4. Goshi 5. Fifth, rather. Miyokiyo in sixth. The real blank in seventh. Jeff in eighth. Jose, that is indeed the word for cut in hiragana, but we want the kanji here that means cut. So Angelica, that will work. We're allowing people to put the full word because that's the only way you can type it out, eh? 9th place. Josh, there you go, 10th place. And hello, Chocolate, my old friend. You got 11th. Excellent job. All right.
みんな早い。
There's the kanji.
アンディ名前さ読むの上手だね。
It is my native language.
そう切れる場所がね見えないんだよね。
切れる場所はね、ちょっと難しい。
そうそう、だからノンティーだよね、やっぱり。ノンティーピカル。
そうそうね。Just like as a native person, when you look at a word in kanji, when you look at like a jukugo, you don't see one kanji and you see the full word, right? You see both at the same time as the same word. Same for me. I see Angelica's model as one word at the same time.
すげえ。
So, or Jeff
じゃあ
Jeff,
ハローチョコレートオールドマイフレンドも
my old friend.
That
That one took me like half a second, but yeah, hello chocolate. Oh, but it's chocolate. Yeah. No, it's fine. Hello chocolate, my old friend. 1602.
す
Pretty
げ
fast.
え。すげえとか
Our
言って
last one is exist. Exist. This one's for Yuki.
はい、頑張ります。
お願いします。
ちょっと名前間違えるけどごめんね。
はい。
あ、早い
ね
早いよ。ジョシュ1番。
Your second one,
は
I
い
think.、
ホゼ2番、ミヨキヨ3番、チャズ4番。ノンティはなんかかわいいね。そう、ノンティかわいいよね。
なんていいね。
はい、ゴッシー5トートスロスベアは5番です。リック6番。ハローチョコレートマイオールドフレンドは7番です。結構長いから大変。
ね。ヘロッチはどうですか？
ヘロッチバナナ2つお願いします。
はい。パスしましたよ。You got two there. I came late. I don't know this one. No worries. This one means exist. And these are the parts who got hand on the right and moon or meat on the right. I'm sorry. This is right hand on the left.
リクさん、指に何か問題があったようで。
指目
指が早く動かなかったのかな、思ってた
I
より
guess
ね。
so. Not as fast as you expected. All right, we're going to be moving into 5 words that we just learned. The first one is going to be for me, and that is this word with this sentence. お願いします。
この部屋はね、電気をつけましょう。この部屋はね、電気をつけましょう。
So we want you to give us how to read this one. Give us the hiragana, the katakana, or the romaji if you don't have an English, Japanese keyboard installed. That is perfectly fine. First place goes to Nanti. Nanti. Miyoki is in second place with Rick in third. Hello, Chocolate Mile Friend in fourth. Chaz Hosier in fifth. Josh, you got there in sixth. The real blank is in seventh. And Jeff, you got eighth place. Excellent job. Non-typical, I believe you get 2 bananas now.
はい。
Jose, that is correct. 9th place. Excellent job. 2 bananas for Nanti. Nanti. Maybe 3.
ピ
I'm
カ
not
ル
sure.
まで読めなくてすぐ。
Angelica, nice job. 10th place. Came late and on lunch, but you're still learning some words in kanji. That is the way to go. Excellent job. This one is?
この部屋は暗いね。電気をつけましょう。
はい。
暗い。
暗い。Dark, gloomy, murky. はい。The next word is this one. And here's the sentence.
はい。大学でを勉強している。大学でを勉強している。
はい。Let's see what we've got for this. 早い。
早い。ノンティピカル早い。ノンティ1番。
3 bananas.
ノンティいいね。リック2番いいですね。チェズじゃなかった。間違えた。チャズごめんなさい。チャズ3番。ミヨキオ4番。あ、
Hello, Chocolate. That is correct, but we want the reading from you.
惜しい。
Okay.
ホゼ5番合ってる、
はい、
5番。はい、ホゼ5番でしょ。ジョシュ6番、ゴシー、7番。ハローチョコレートマイオールドフレンド8番。
How's it going, Tanish?
はい、ようこそ。アンジェリカ9番。The Real Blank さん。
You got the first part. はい。
そうね。惜しい。うん。いいとこまで行ってます。
はい、お願いします。
はい。大学で工学を勉強している。
はい。Studying engineering in university.
はい。
All right, our next word is this one. And the sentence is,
髪の毛をに行ってもいい？髪の毛をに行ってもいい？
All right, hi, super fast. Wow, Rick, you got the first one. All right, your first banana. Rick is in first place with Nanti in second, Josh in third, Mio Kyo in fourth, Jeff in fifth, Fraz in sixth, Chaz in seventh, Breno Nishimoto, welcome to the stream. You're in eighth place, Jose, ninth place, The Real Blank in 10th, Hello Chocolate, my old friend in 11th, and Angelica is in 12th. Jose, we'll give that one to you. That is actually how you would read it in this sentence. And Kitty, yeah, that works too, Goshi. You're 13th place, I believe. Angelica, you already had it there. All good. Kiri ni itte mo ii would be how you would read this sentence. Indeed at, I believe Rick got first place there. Nice job, Rick.
はい、おめでとうございます。
Oh, another announcement. Oh, no, that's the 12 o'clock bell. Wow. Okay, so 3-hour stream. All right, let's get the full sentence.
はい。髪の毛を切りに行ってもいい？髪の毛を切りに行ってもいい？
So is it okay if I go get my hair cut? Here is the next word, and here is the sentence it's in.
教科書
Yo.
貸して。
right.
そうだよ、合ってるよね。合ってるよね。
ごめんね。はい、もう一回お願いします。
はい、教科書貸して。
はい、もう答えてる。はい、another one for Rick. お願いします。
はい、リック1番、素晴らしい。ジョッシュ2番、ホゼ3番、ミヨキヨ4番、ハローチョコレート、my old friend 5番、The Real Blank 6番、ゴシ7番です。
はい、nice job. The full sentence is
教科書ある？貸して。
はい。
はい、教科書ある？貸してです。
はい。The final word for this lesson, everyone.
あら。
Thank you for everyone who made it to this point.
あ、指は良くなった。
良くなったね。
いいね。指が乗ってきたんだ
Let's see
ね。
if it's good for this one. This is the word, and this is the sentence.
お金がないからに行かなきゃ。お金がないからに行かなきゃ。ねえ、この人たちはめっちゃ早いね、ほんと。
Hey, Josh, you got another banana. Excellent job. Is this mine or yours? Mine. Hi, Josh, you're in first place with Nanti in second, Chaz in third, Rick, you're in fourth place for this one, Mio Kyo is in fifth with Hello Chocolate My Old Friend in sixth, Tanks Player, welcome to the stream, you're in seventh place with Jose in eighth, and Goshi in ninth place. I believe you get 3 or 4, Josh. Maybe 4 now. Breno Nishimoto, congratulations. I don't know what place you're in now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Angelica 10th. The Real Blank in 11th. Breno in 12th. Excellent job. Hi. Oh, wait, were you wrong on there? Kinko. Yeah, okay. Kinko is another thing. Kinko is a, what do you call the box that you put money in and then you lock it? Safe. It's a safe.
でもね、それね、ないんだよ。
金庫。
うん。
そっか。金庫。
うん。
Josh. 金庫。I'm going to give you 4 bananas. Congratulations. We'll give you an extra one too, since that was the last question. Hi.
はーい。
Nice job, everyone.
いや、みんな早かったね。
ね。早かった。Let's get the full sentence.
指がね。
指がね。
タイピング早かったね。
はい。お願いします。
お金がないから銀行に行かなきゃ。お金がないから銀行に行かなきゃ。
Yep. I don't have any money, so we gotta go to the bank.
まあ、キャッシュってことですね。
そう。現金を。はい。
まあ、ハイテクなお国は最近ね、キャッシュを使わなくてもいいみたいなんですけど。
そうだね。These days you don't really need. You don't really need.
ね。
Cash.
まあ日本はちょっとまだまだちょっとディレイ。
Japan's a little behind. I just realized I don't have a screen. I don't have a scene that is just us on screen.
もう今？
もうこのセットアップに、この OBS に。これ以外見せられない。
そうなの？
そう。I can show me. I can show you. I can show you. I can show us. There we are. I do have one. Hello. Okay.
メインキャム？チャットオーバーレイってやつ？
まあ違う。大丈夫。
違いました。はい。
ここにはない。
はい。
ここにはない。
はい。
All right. Well, great job, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. That's the end of lesson 2 for the JLPT N4 kanji. And that's all Dan needs for the cut.
はい、ありがとうございます。
All right. Look at chat trying to catch up. All right. Great job, everyone, says Alex. Wow, you're still awake, Alex. Thanks for hanging out.
ねえ、遅くまでありがとうございます。
I went to Sweden and got a bunch of cash, only to find out they use no cash whatsoever anymore. Yep. When we lived in New Zealand also, we basically never needed cash ever. We never even really touched it much. I always had a little bit.
もうさ、お金の勉強しなくていいってこと？
Pretty much. You're very welcome. Thank you for hanging out. In Japan, you can still use cash everywhere, pretty much.
なんかさ、キャッシュオンリーのお店もまだ結構あるよね。
Not as many as there used to be, but there are still some that you can only use cash at in Japan. You're still going to need it. But there are a lot of places that you can use other stuff to pay now, like train cards and stuff. When did you live in New Zealand? 2017, I believe. 2017 into 2018. So the end of 2017 and all of 2018, maybe. Most of 2018. Great stream. I hope we can get to tune into the next one. I hope you can too. The next one is Monday our time. So Sunday night for most of those of you in the United States. But Monday morning our time in Japan. So.
それまではちょっと爆発しないようにお願いします。
Yes, please don't explode before then. TNT-san. When you be live again next. So yeah, just mentioned that. That's going to be Monday, our time at 9 a.m. Japan time. So whatever time it is for you, minus 3 hours. So whatever time it is right now for you, minus 3 hours. And then the next stream will be whatever time it was today, minus 3 hours. But next week, if that makes any sense. I'll schedule them on the main page, so make sure to get subscribed. Please hit the like button on this live stream. That always helps. I think. I don't know. We had no cash when my kid lost a tooth last night, and so we had to borrow the other kid's money so the tooth fairy could leave something. Hope your kid's not watching. That'll blow your cover. I've got Monday off. Yay, Mandy M. Sweet. That's awesome. Is the storm still going on? Yes, there was just thunder outside a moment ago. So it's at a 13-hour thunderstorm. So far.
ステイしすぎですよね。
It's pretty wild. 13 hours straight. It's been just rain and just thunder and lightning. 13 hours straight. You should see the little storm on the tracker. It's pretty... What the heck? Why oh, there it is. Maybe, does it still look pretty wild here? Sure, it's not working now. Of course. Because I want to show it to you. But why would it work when I wanted to show it to people? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's coming. Let's go overhead. Oh, there, it's gone. It's gone. Now that I was going to show you, it's gone now.
なんでなんだ
Okay, then. Thanks. Thanks, weather. It's been working perfectly for like all night. And now it doesn't. Okay.
これはクリアデーっぽい感じになって
Looks very nice out now, yeah. No. Oh, no, now that I turn my camera off, it's back. Okay, yeah. So this has just been going straight across us for 13 hours. Yeah. Anyway. So, but the power didn't go off. So that's great.
よかった
We
です
were able to finish the stream. So thanks, everyone. All right. I think that's going to be it for us. It's time for us to go eat lunch. Instead of 4 hours, it was 3 hours today. Not so bad. That's probably going to be the time we aim for from now on. I thought these were going to be like an hour and a half. They're not an hour and a half. It is what it is.
それは難しいですね。
ちょっと難しいね. I'm glad you guys hung out. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned something.
ありがとうございます。
We'll see you in the next one. All right.
みんなコインを入れたり出したりしてる。
そうだね。ありがとう、Sergio. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
ニュージーランドの人いる。
In Colombia. Well, that's a big storm. It is indeed. We will enjoy lunch. We will. Hi. All right, guys. Have a good week. We'll see. Have a good weekend, I guess. We'll see you on Monday, Sunday-ish.
そうだよね。はい。
Thanks, everyone.
みんなお疲れ様でした。
はい、お疲れ様でした。せーの。また次のビデオで会いましょうね。はい、バイバイ everyone. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
はい。
バイバイ。
バイバイ、またね。
またね。